Alright. This is gonna be a fun one. Alright, buckle in, chat. Yeah, this video is gonna be a doozy. I saw Mujin's post announcing this video on Twitter. Man, there were a lot of mad simps, chat. Not gonna lie. Super mad retards that he made this. And some really odd, like, crossovers I didn't really expect. Like, the people that think Cinder did nothing wrong were present in his post for some reason. Like, someone would comment, like, yep, another dog shit take from Mujin. And someone else would, like, reply, like, yeah, it's the same guy who didn't even read the Cinder Ghoul docu, right? What did you expect? Like, bro, these people are so fucking retarded and stupid. He made a 5-hour-long video about the Cinder document. You have the audacity, the fucking audacity to claim he didn't read it because he disagreed with you? You're so mentally ill. Like, get off the fucking internet. Like, again, this will be a doozy, I'm sure. All right, let's begin. The beginning. How VTubing's biggest grifter got bullied off the internet. The story of Elven Psyop. Uh-oh. Okay, 3, 2, 1, boom.
Ian Miles Chung is a, let's say, political commentator that truly got in the spotlight in the run-up to the 2024 US presidential election. You see, Ian would tweet daily. Whoa. We're talking hundreds of tweets, all centered on the topic of this election. The guy was acting like his life was hanging in the balance if the wrong candidate ended up winning. In fact, he was so passionate about this topic that it even reached the owner of the website, Elon Musk, who retweeted and replied to his posts constantly.
Wow.
Except, here's the thing. Ian wasn't even a United States citizen.
What?
He was Malaysian, and he lived in Malaysia.
Okay, maybe
he didn't
his
have a
wife
green
is
card.
American?
Hell, he didn't even have a US tourist visa. In fact, most shocking in all this, the guy had never stepped foot on United States territory before. Not once in his life. And yet here he was, shamelessly quote tweeting things like, multiculturalism will tear our country apart, and saying, that's right, they need to get out of our country. Bro, what do you mean our? What? Or how about, I refuse to be governed by an Ugandan named Zohran Kwame Mamdani. Get out of my country. What do you mean your country? Excuse me.
Holy shit.
The thing with Ian, if that's even his real name, is that he was the perfect example of a grifter. Someone who pretends to believe in something while not giving a shit about it, all to benefit directly from it, whether financially or by other means. And he sure as hell did. Not only does he have 1.2 million followers, he also lives in the United Arab Emirates, a country that's significantly more expensive than his home country of Malaysia. So why am I telling you all this? Well, it's simple. For as long as so many of us can remember, a grifter only took on a few different forms, whether it be a politician or someone extremely rich, people of power. It was a known fact that these people changed their politics based on the highest bidder that was filling their pockets. But today, we live in unprecedented times.
Every retard has a fucking phone. Every person has access to the internet at the drop of a freaking dime. You just, like, buy a cell phone, you'll have access to the internet and make a Twitter account.
Where just about anyone can become a grifter and benefit directly from it. It's not a privilege reserved for the people in power anymore. This means anyone can be a grifter.
Making money.
Even if it was a severely alcoholic mess of a VTuber. You see, from the first day that Elfen Psyop started streaming, she targeted a very specific demographic.
Oh yeah?
Males who would typically share the same ideologies you'd find on 4chan, who love edgy humor, dislike minorities, and most importantly, never receive female attention. All she had to do was post slurs and insults directed towards minorities every day, all while acting as edgy as possible. And through this, she was able to attain over 100,000 followers in less than 2 years. But that's not all. She was also able to make close to 6 figures in those 2 years by building very unhealthy relationships with those viewers who get no female attention. Like, for example, calling those viewers on Discord and starting to touch herself.
Maybe I'm a prude, but like I just don't. How do you How do you get into the mental state where you do that with strangers? Like, I'm sorry. Like, am I not gooned down enough or something? This is turbo gooning.
Without them knowing as they were talking.
That's the
and that's
community
not even
event?
the worst thing she's done. I mean, she was literally posting audios of her gooning to her general chat in her Discord server.
In the general chat is wild. Like, why would you monetize it? Like, okay, like there's girls out there that do this for like Patreon or like Fansly. That get your bag. I always shit talk Fansly and OnlyFans and shit, like make fun of it and stuff. Like, obviously, like it's funny. But like, make your bag. Like, she's just doing it for the love of the game.
Accessible by anyone, okay? But this, of course, had its massive benefits. Elfin was so successful in doing this. She was so unstoppable too, invincible to all sorts of criticisms, that you even had bigger and more viral VTubers try to emulate her, try to copy her. That's how dangerous her influence
it probably
had
worked
become.
a lot, huh?
But that would all be until December 2025, when demons from her past would catch up to her and expose to us all that she's actually one of those minorities that she insulted daily.
Man.
It would turn out that she is Pakistani. This is where her entire life falls apart as her Sims try to grapple with—
What is this? This is an AI of her character flaming the flag around.
the fact that she is a minority. But of course, it doesn't end here, because she might have committed a pretty serious crime that made her eventually want to delete all her socials to screw up the proof.
Geez.
And yes, it involved a minor. This is one of the more uniquely disturbing videos I've ever made. And word of warning, throughout all of it, you'll lose hope in humanity multiple times. So before we get started, I thought I'd get the good news out of the way first. I was able to achieve a very cool goal of mine, hiring my artist Weioang full time. Yes, the same artist who makes illustrations of me all the time and who also made my VTuber model. This was all thanks to your guys' support and, of course, Stacked. It's a creator platform that aims to rival other sites like Patreon. But instead of forcing you to sign up to paid memberships in order to take a more attractive percentage, they just take a flat 10%, nothing more, nothing less. And on the day of this video uploading, I'm launching my page with them. There are multiple tiers on my page, all made to give you the most value out of your money. They include 4 high-quality illustrations from Weio every month, as well as 2 exclusive rambling videos from me where I just yap. So if you have insomnia, I think this is perfect for you. I'll be very active there, so if you're interested, the link's going to be in the description and the pinned comment. And now that the good news is finally out of the way, let's get to the bad news. The entire story of Elfin Psyop. Let's do this. All right, so first off, what is a girl failure? This is something that Elfin Psyop would identify as for the entirety of her career. It's also one of the main reasons she was able to gain so much influence in such a short time. Well, if you Google this term, you'll get a definition saying a fictional girl or woman who is endearingly pathetic or inept. And while yes, this is true,
it feeds into this like damsel in distress thing at the end of the day. That's what I think. I don't think girl failure is like a real thing. It's just something that feeds into a fantasy.
To some degree, it barely touches on the whole story. In fact, if I had to explain what a girl failure meant, then
isn't that like you, Alana? Bro, are you really comparing me to a girl that sent gooning videos of her in general chat? No, really, come on. I'm not that bad. I have 2 bowls on my desk and 2 coffee cups and 2 water bottles and 3 coffee cups, excuse me. And 2, what is it called? The LaCroix that are empty. That's not the same as posting your gooner videos in general chat. There's no way you guys are comparing me to that.
I would say it's nothing more than a modern and extremely bastardized version of a damsel in—
Damn it, dude. Me and him, same wavelength.
In distress.
No way, dude.
Yes, the idea of a woman that finds herself in such a desperate and helpless situation and can only ever hope to get out of it thanks to the help of a man, preferably a white knight in shining armor. He would extend his hand to her. He would save her, and they would live their life happily ever after, with the man taking full credit.
Chat, you can't fix me. You can't. Sorry. I'm a slob. You can't fix it.
For the woman's happiness. At its essence, this is exactly what the term girl failure means. A woman who is such a loser, someone who can't take care of themselves, that's just waiting on a man that can fix her. But when it came to Elfin, she wasn't just a girl failure, she also happened to be someone who was very mentally ill and severely alcoholic. But don't take my word for it. This is how she would introduce herself to people who would find her account on Twitter. Hello, new people. I'm Elfin. I'm a loser. In parentheses, girl failure. Whatever. Stinky elf federal agent. I love bugs and I've got bruises. I'm a very messy person, tired, and a massive alcoholic. My interests are conspiracy theories, astronomy, military history, and coding. I'm also extremely edgy, so you might see me post retarded rants while drunk. Wow, what a flattering introduction. I
genuinely thought it was just like, you know, a character that you play. Like, you know how you play a character when you're VTubing or being a streamer? I didn't think much of it.
Totally see how she needs a white knight to save her from her predicament. But other than her making alcohol her entire personality and being a very clear example of what a pick-me girl is, you'd probably never guess that this person started streaming in February of 2024 and by mid-2025 had over 100,000 followers.
Chat, I've been on Twitter for 3 years as VTuber, and I've only gotten 75k, and I would argue I have a way bigger platform on YouTube and Twitch than her. That's actually, insane. So
how the hell did she manage to become so big in such a short amount of time while having an extremely loyal community that would practically die for her? Well, it involved a multitude of different factors. One of the first factors is that she was edgy, extremely edgy.
Yeah.
It's as if she was competing for the Edgy Olympics and wanted first place. This right here was a tweet of someone saying they went to the mental hospital and the nurse laughed at them for attempting to leave this planet, right? What does Elfin do? She would quote tweet this and say, "Can I just say you deserve it if you fail at it? It ain't fucking hard to kill yourself, I'm sorry." How about this tweet? "Some black people shouldn't have rights." Or this one.
So for those unaware, she followed me on Twitter. I followed her back. This is common because that's what you do in the VTuber space. People follow each other and then they follow each other back. It's just what VTubers do. It also feeds your algorithm that you want to see more VTuber content. So you see new people coming up too. So you know what's happening. So I would see her day-to-day posts when I occasionally look on Twitter, and the impression I got from her on day one has never changed. I thought she was a 4chan queen. Obviously, it wasn't a secret. Her name is a reference to that in and of itself. I was on 4chan a lot in my late teens. I'm completely familiar with the culture and the lore of that website. I know a lot about it. A lot of people thought oh, she's just super edgy. She's shameless. She's gooner baiting. No, this is 4chan personified as a VTuber. She was hard targeting a niche audience of 4chan users before she even debuted. Because her model is a direct reference 4chan to glowies. Some people say she was grifting, and you could not be more wrong. Grifting doesn't mean you don't... grifting means you don't believe what you say. She believed everything she said. I do. I think that. She said because you can tell she had been on that website for years. That's why she said it. 4chan is her demographic, her audience, and 4chan probably raised her if she was on there when she was really young, like 12, 13 years old.
Where she says, "So I became a Nazi. Yeah, bitch, I'm the villain." Showing a
She knows what to say to be "Oh, she's totally one of us." That's what I'm trying to get at. She knows how to farm them.
She tried way too hard, and for the average person, this was extremely cringy. In this massive tweet with multiple paragraphs, she's basically saying, "Oh, you're saying the N-word hard R? You think it makes you based? Edgy cool? Say actual vile shit. I want more edginess." Imagine lacking so much self-awareness that you think this is actually cool. This was as far back as November 2024, and look.
had been wondering for like the longest time what the end game was gonna be for her, because I always thought to myself like, oh, you know, there's a couple of people that I saw that were like claiming to be girl failures, but she like actually made posts, she farmed it, she talked about how much she freaking gooned and shit. I always thought like, yeah, she's just feeding into like the whole you could fix me type shit like angle with like the damsel in distress metaphor. My best guess was that, like, YouTube was just gonna ban her for being, like, too edgy. Maybe she accidentally fucking said a slur on stream. And then things would fizzle out from there. And not even just from what she herself says. Like, don't get me wrong, Elfin said crazy shit all the time. But her fans are also, like, completely unhinged. Because of where they came from. They had no filter, no self-control.
It would have normally been ignored. She's not the first one to be this edgy on Twitter. Normally, right? Someone like Elfin would have never gained more than 10,000 followers. I would have never had to make a video about her to begin with. So what was really one of the main factors that put her on the map? What changed everything for her and her entire career? Well, her belly. That's right. And I wish I was making this up. I'm talking about her belly. Her stomach, her abdomen. She would periodically post pictures of it on Twitter, and she would gain tens of thousands of likes. Like, for example, I remember this one because I saw it on my feed. It had the caption of whatever, enjoy. And it was literally just her abdomen. Here's the high res. I mean, it's nothing special, right? So why did this post in particular gain 15,000 likes?
Okay,
well,
maybe
because
I
she's
can
a
fix it.
VTuber.
No,
I wish I was kidding. At this point, one could call this a kink, and the Twitter algorithm rewards it heavily. Like recently, I saw a picture of cleavage on my feed. It had over 20,000 likes. I was like, what makes this cleavage so fucking interesting? I went to that person's profile and I saw they had 200 followers, but get this, they had a VTuber profile picture. That's right. The appeal that someone who is anonymous, that is too shy to show their face, is sharing skin. Elfin loved the attention this brought her. So as I said, she would post
to a lesser extent, I think handcam streams are also very exciting for people too.
Periodically, and
this is a more extreme version, obviously, because you're showing like, ooh, lewd part of your body, like your tummy. Oh my god!
Every time she would gain so much attention on her profile.
Yeah, hands off! I'm gonna jork it.
But it doesn't simply end here. After the horny guys,
hands that sad. No, I'm not. No, hold on. Hear me out. I'm not accusing everyone who watched my hand cam stream of dorking it to my hands. I'm sure there were people that did that. However, I'm talking about the knowing that it's a real person behind the screen. I get it. Like, I think that people fucking say that shit. Yeah, they love it. They're like, oh my god, that's so exciting. This is awesome. I wonder what she looks like a little bit, you know? Hot hands, dark voice. Fuck you! Not hot hands. Fucking Mari has hot hands. She did a hand cam stream and I was like, damn, your hands look good. Like, her nails are so on point. Dude.
Would follow her because she has a nice looking belly. They'd start seeing her other tweets, her girl failure tweets.
Yeah, and she's farming it. I genuinely think she was just extremely good at farming at what people wanted to see from her. She was really good at that. And it was very obvious to me. And I'm not gonna fucking say like, oh my god, stop farming simps. Like, that's what you fucking do as a VTuber, especially if you do like lewd content and shit.
She would say things like, I'm 20, I've never had a boyfriend, I'm a virgin, I've never kissed, fucked, or anything before. I hate myself so much, this is such a terrible situation.
Oh,
Look at this post, for example.
Oh,
legit
god.
just gooned.
I saw this. This went giga viral. This happened like last year.
Looked exactly like this. I'm fucking literally hurt. I stink right now. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm so upset. I wish I fucking had real life friends. I should be out hanging out at a bar right now. This post, posted on December 14th, 2024, would have over 2.9 million views and 85,000 likes, as well as 1,000 comments and 28,000 bookmarks.
How much mental damage do you think Mujin went through, like, having to look at this shit all over again? Like, having to know that... looking at all the comments of people just being like, oh my god, she's so hot. Like... I don't know, man. It's a lot of psychic damage. I don't know if I could do that.
This is one of the most...
And it's also, interestingly enough, it's posted at exactly at 4 a.m.
pathetic posts you can imagine. And there it is, going viral. She'd post something like this every single day. And it all goes back to the whole damsel in distress
I don't know
phenomenon that
how
I
to
was talking
flirt
about
with
earlier.
men.
She was a VTuber who only had male interests. She was edgy, racist, and seen as based by some people.
Yeah.
And she had a nice looking belly, which makes people's imaginations run wild. They think if it looks that good, then her face must look amazing too, the rest of her body as well. But the cherry on top is that even though she's all these things, she also happens
She's
to
a
be a
paper
girl
bag.
failure.
I
She's
need a
someone who
paper
hates
bag.
her life. She has no friends. She lives alone in the UK as a student.
Yeah.
And the cherry on top was that she was a virgin, guys.
People really value that. They do. Yeah, she really played into that as well. There's a lot of men that are like, woman has kissed another man. Woman has had one penis in her before. Disgusting.
She was pure. A witch could use her
Yeah.
tears to make a potion, and she was just waiting for the right guy to fix her and wife her up. She understood this very well.
do you check,
but
by
even
the
though this
way?
was all a very elaborate plan to begin with, she still managed to take it to a very worrying next level. And that would be when you would take the next step to join her Discord. Her Discord is exactly what you would
personal
expect.
harem.
Elfin would spend a worrying amount of time on there. She was practically chronically online, and anyone could pretty much talk to her. Most conversations revolved around two things. The first one being about racism, and the second one being about her being a massive gooner.
I don't know, man. I feel like I have too much dignity, dude. I don't know how people can just fucking admit to that shit in a public Discord on your not on an account that's a throwaway, but like on an account that's tied to your like personal shit. Chat, could you do it? VTuber does not equal dignity. I mean, I have enough, I would say.
Here you can see someone saying, Elfin's been mostly quiet on the server today because she's embarrassed about how hard she was horny posting while drunk last night. To which Elfin replies,
How does that mod know that? They probably had a mod chat like talking about how much she goons. Oh my god, she was like horny posting and gooning. Oh my god, she told us? Okay, we gotta tell chat. Yeah, chat. Tell chat right now.
we're not talking about that.
We're not
A viewer
talking.
would say,
And it's like self-advertising. Like it actually serves a purpose to like indoctrinate people in the Discord to tell them like you are gooned out of your mind. And some people find that really hot.
you gonna call her a good girl, or is that just for you? Elfin would say, me. And an amazing example right here, someone saying, Elfin, do you choke yourself? And Elfin replying with, yeah. It was pretty much a server just to worship her and hope that she'll give you attention. Additionally, you'd see her say obscene things that she couldn't even post on Twitter. Like, for example, if I had to f a dog, it'd be a husky.
Things people say when they don't have a dog, dude.
I genuinely don't know like what to say about that, dude. Like, I genuinely...
That is...
I mean, I'm speechless, but I truly... I wish...
Why? Yeah, maybe she is white. Maybe she is white after all. Where's the song? Well, no, I typed white women love dogs. Where's the song? Fuck. I'm trying to be funny right now and I'm failing. This is Lumi saying, oh, there it is. I found it.
White girls fuck dogs.
Maybe she is white.
White girls fuck dogs.
They really fuck them.
White girls fuck dogs.
White girls fuck dogs.
White girls fuck dogs.
Things ended here. Elfin would take this
Maybe she doesn't
parasocialism that she had
ruse.
built in
Hi,
her
Mia,
Discord
what's
server
up?
to a level that no other VTuber had ever taken it to, especially if they were the same size and influence. During her career, she would post over 11 different audios
For free!
of her literally gooning with a vibrator. And get this, she wouldn't like post them in a private channel with her top donators or whatever. No. She would post it in
That's a waste.
general, in the channel that anyone who joins the server has access to. Now look,
It's viral marketing because you just know these gooners are all talking, and she knows how 4chan communicates too. Like if she posts it, they immediately go on 4chan, they immediately talk about it, and then it gets more people into the Discord, and it's like a cascading effect. No, I'm not. I know I'm thinking about this like more like optics wise and like, you know, like virality, but like, yeah, it works.
Love
'Cause
for you to
it's
listen
free.
to this clip in particular because it is so ridiculous. But you can literally hear a vibrator in the background. Okay, so instead, I'll
You're not-
reenact the first.
No, Mujin, no, don't, no, sir, no, don't do that, please. Ew, no.
10 seconds for you because it is one of the most bizarre things I've
No,
ever heard in my
stop.
entire life. and I
Don't
mean
do
that.
it, please.
She goes, in the most like lolly voice possible. Then she says, if there's any Slavic guy out there that wants to marry me and kill N-words hard R, I want to murder all N-words hard R.
Yeah, that's 4channel, right?
And I'm telling you, during the whole thing, you can hear a vibrator going bzzz in the background. Like, bro, what are we doing here? Like, what is my life? What the fuck is this?
Slavic men, Alana, you're in. Why did she say Slavic men? What is that about? What?
It already tells you a lot about who this person is, right? And of course, if you were to confront
All my
her about this,
Russians
she'd
in
say,
chat
oh, I
are
don't remember.
scared.
I was drunk. I'm an alcoholic. It's my entire personality.
Oh my God.
And now you might be making the mistake of thinking, Mujin, all right, I get it. I get why she had so many followers and I get why she made so much money. And I mean, buddy, do you really think I was going to let you go that easily? No, because now
I feel like we could have stopped here. I'm not gonna lie. Like 15 minutes would have been a good enough like stopping point right here. Why are we doing this for another hour?
fun begins. What do you do when you have an
What are
army
we
of
doing?
100,000 military-aged men who willingly castrated their balls to worship you? Well, you start
Castrate,
reaching
whoa.
deep into their pockets by suicide baiting. Tweets like this wouldn't be
Oh my god, this reminds me of high school. I had girls that would like post on their on their Facebook, sometimes on their Twitter, and like post about it. Just give me a PTSD. Yeah, I had a friend that would do this, and then I stopped being friends with her because she lied a lot.
uncommon find with Elfin, saying things like, genuinely want to kill myself, man. Or how about this post on her Discord saying, I just got charged like $1,800 about as tax. I'm literally exempt from paying that. Since she's a student in the UK,
Yeah.
they just plainly took my money for my tuition and I have to pay rent soon, like a year's worth. I'm gonna actually fucking kill myself. She would then talk about how depressed she is and unmotivated
Yeah.
and oh my god, I need to earn rent. Even though, as you might guess, none of this was actually true. She'd keep this lie going on other platforms too, saying, I'm getting kicked out my apartment soon if I don't pay for a whole year up front. Time to find a new house or go homeless, I guess. Streaming from under a bridge. Fuck. She'd have 101 replies, all begging
Money,
to help and
money,
wishing her
money.
the best and being worried about her. Poor Elfin. Now get this. She'd say, does anyone want to buy my blanket I used to hump every day for money? I need money
Hump a blanket.
for rent.
No. She was really smart. She'd do the underwear shit. Yeah. Like, she would get way more buku bucks for that shit. Blanket's kind of like, whatever.
Thanks. Now look,
What?
most people, if they tweet something like this, they'd be laughed at. Maybe
Bathwater,
people will think,
yeah.
oh, they're just joking. As I had mentioned already, Elfin had an army of 100,000 men who castrated themselves just to worship her. So what do you think actually happened? She got offers.
What? $1,000? PayPal or Venmo? Is that a set profile picture of him lifting weights? Holy fucking shit. People actually fell for this.
Someone would say, actual? Question mark?
Actual?
Offer?
Offer?
Question mark? Elfin would reply with $1,000 runes, to which someone
She
would
should have made a bidding war. Again, I feel like she could have squeezed way more money from these guys' balls.
say, PayPal or Venmo?
Average League of Legends fan, by the way.
She had these guys wrapped around her finger.
Oh, yeah.
And she knew that.
Oh, yeah.
She'd somehow always end up being short on money no matter how much people...
That's a big red flag, too. Constantly out of money every couple of months. What is this? I have to pay September? This was May. There was August and I think it was January.
donated, and at some point would even open commissions. Yeah, well, it turned out that her commissions were her just finding a Japanese artist, stealing their art, and then adding small modifications and making it
people do
her
this all
own.
the time.
But her fans didn't care. Listen,
No.
she was a girl
People
failure.
generally
She wasn't
don't care.
perfect. Yeah, she did some weird things, but don't
People would argue with you and say like, "Oh, it's hand drawn, so it's fine. It's tracing, but it's fine. It's changed a little bit. It's not AI."
worry. They'll be the
Yeah.
one to fix her. So chill.
fix her.
Elfin had
Damsel
essentially
in
done what no
distress.
other edgy VTuber could have ever hoped to achieve.
Yeah.
She said some of the most vile, racist shit known to mankind, all while having a massive army of simps supporting her.
Yeah.
God, I mean, she must have felt invincible, like she could
Yeah.
do anything, like she was untouchable, and to be honest, she was. But that was, of course, until her entire world crumbled
What
right
happened?
before her very eyes, all due to someone she thought she could trust. On December 4th, 2024, I'd released a video
Gunpei.
titled How This Entitled VTuber
Yeah, we
Lost Her
watched
Career
this.
Overnight. It would talk about Gunpei,
Dude, look at the
an
numbers
extremely
on that
edgy VTuber that
thing.
had 1/10 of the audience Elfin Psyop has. You see, someone made a fan-made plushie of her and wanted
Yep.
to sell it. She had a complete crash out and started being racist towards them.
remember
The
that.
entire VTuber community rallied against her, and instead of apologizing, she doubled, tripled, then
Dude, everybody
quadrupled
shit on her.
down. It
It's
was very
great.
embarrassing and humiliating just for about anyone who had self-awareness. Now, after my video would come out, some people would take it upon themselves to investigate her further. What they'd end up finding is a very, and I mean very, parasocial community. You couldn't even join her Discord server if there was any doubt that you were a woman.
It's like an actual harem, man. You're not allowed if you're a woman.
Gunpei would
Make sure
immediately
it's
ban
manly.
you and say that she doesn't want any other man in her server to give attention to any other woman but herself. She essentially acted as everyone's girlfriend, but it went way beyond that. If you sent her a picture of your sausage, yes, your straight up genitalia in DMs, instead of blocking you like 99.99% of women, she would instead give it a rating. She
For free! Man, these girls are dumb. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. They already do this on Fansly and like OnlyFans. What are you doing?
complimented, she'd write a paragraph about it. Yeah, trust me, I was shocked too. Anyone could essentially DM her anything, and she was chronically online in her Discord. This is how she was able to get so many different gifts and so much money from her community. I know this already sounded familiar to you when it
paragraph
came
about
to
your
Elfin,
penis,
but
yeah.
it went deeper than that. Gunpei had another account by the name of Zuba. She used to post normal things on there, but then one day posted an image of her in a bikini,
Oh my
specifically
God.
showcasing, yeah, you guessed it,
She's
her
so
belly.
hot.
That tweet would get over 25,000 likes.
Dude, I've never had a fucking liked picture that much. Like, what? 25K? I think I've pushed 16?
And that's when she would decide to make a VTuber, knowing she can take full advantage of that. And she did. She was practically invincible. That whole backlash about her being racist, my video coming out, nothing affected
No
her
one
at
cares.
all. But her career still somehow ended. You know why? Well, it turned out she had a boyfriend. When you tell your community that you're their collective girlfriend, and it turns out you had a boyfriend behind the scenes, you lose all your fans. It's just that simple. When this was revealed, she would scrub her YouTube channel,
Yep.
delete her Discord server,
I
and
remember that.
deactivate her Twitter account. She would briefly reactivate it later and sell her entire model and assets for around $2,200. It would somehow get bought by a viewer of mine. I hope he's
That's
enjoying
so
the model.
funny!
And that was that. It wasn't her racism. It wasn't her weird attitude. It wasn't her being an unlikable
viewer
person
bought
that
it?
canceled her. It was
That's
simply
so
her having a
funny.
boyfriend. When you're parasocial, you're invincible unless you're lying to your community.
Do you think they still get, like, people who think that she's Gunpei? Or he?
That's the one
I
taboo
bet they
rule
do.
you
People
can't
are
break.
stupid as
What's
fuck.
really funny is that she would go as far as trying to reinvent herself.
I told you, these people never go the fuck away. They know how to grift, so they gotta keep going. They didn't want to go back to McDonald's. The fuck you mean?
Creating a new VTuber identity in May of 2025. And in just the span of like a couple of months, people would discover that there was a lot of similarities between Gunpei and this new Mirio Maki. On July 8th, she would post an explanation apologizing for her past behavior, and she hasn't posted or streamed since then. Now, you would think that since her and Elfin shared so many
She's finding another new YouTube model. I mean, VTuber
similarities,
model.
back when her controversy was happening, Elfin would have maybe came in and defended her. I mean, Gunpei wasn't even saying half the edgy shit that Elfin said on her feed, right? So come on. Surprisingly, though, okay, it's not really a surprise. Elfin would join the dogpiling, saying, "Oh my god, my based racist Chuba, ooh, it's only funny when they say unintentionally and not in an active effort to harm/insult someone. When did we lose sight of what's actually funny?" So look, this tweet makes absolutely zero fucking sense, okay? This is just Elfin being the typical pick-me, seeing that someone's being hated and trying to profit off of it. How? Well, it's simple. Gunpei had a lot of parasocial fans, so Elfin clearly wanted some to come to her community instead. But above all, she wanted
she's farming, bros. Take notes. If you guys want to have notes on how to have a voice changer, just like every other VTuber, and farm people, take notes.
to know that she wasn't a grifter, okay? She was a real girl failure.
I'm not
she
like
was somehow taking the moral high ground. I'm not fake like you, okay? I'm authentic. I'm as real as it gets, and I know what I'm doing. And that's the attitude she always took when she saw someone doing something similar to her and getting canceled or getting into trouble. What's deeply ironic here, though, okay, is that barely a few months after she was taking this moral high ground on Gunpei, someone would come out with a 51-page Google Doc about her on April 18th, 2025. His name was Average Bird Enjoy, and this was significant because he was watching her from the beginning, back in 2024.
Oh no, a scorned simp. It's over.
And he was one of her lead mods. He was always there.
Ah, there it is. I fucking knew it. A scorned simp. Hell hath no fury like a scorned lover.
For her, as well as always in her chat. I mean, look at this. On a scheduled stream on YouTube, there was a pinned message saying, Elf is currently dead asleep. Potentially no stream today. We'll move to tomorrow if that's the case. The stream was still running as she was doing some sort of a donathon. It's kind of like a subathon, but it involves direct money. You'd hear some sort of a Discord ring on the stream, and Average Bird Enjoyer would come in and say, that was me calling her to see if she'd wake up.
He was so excited to type that, by the way.
Lol. So this was someone who, as far as the
I don't know.
Community was concerned, was close to her. In fact, the guy wasn't just close, okay? He was borderline insane. At some point, Elfin would be streaming and she had a donation goal for PC funds set at $100. Average Bird Enjoyer would come in and donate. In one payment, 10,000.
Oh my god. You should block them immediately. I think the most I ever had was 2? Or was it free? I don't remember. Yeah, dude, for a PC, yeah, that's well above a PC. What the fuck? Yeah, Instaban, like
probably,
Asmund says.
And most likely because he thought he could be the one to fix her. But here's the deal. He wasn't the only one. The document that Average Bird Enjoyer wrote was 51 pages long, and it involved 6 people total, including himself. But are we actually going to bother diving deep into this mess? Hell no. Honestly, it's so pathetic, it's not even worth doing that. I'll just sum it up for you. In a nutshell, Average Bird Enjoyer had spent over $50,000.
Bro, where do you find these people? No, I'm serious. Where do you find them?
On Elfin in the span of like less than a year.
There comes a point,
Listen,
right?
I have to specify this. He found her when she had less than 500 followers, probably 50 viewers. She was not a big streamer by any means.
I found her. She's mine. I found her. She's special. She's mine. It's literally a Redditor. He's getting mad. He's like, I found her first. I send her all that money.
But Average Bird Enjoyer went all out thinking that he'll genuinely be able to like
you got played, motherfucker.
Partner, okay, that they're gonna date. He thought they were exclusive to begin with. He sent her $10,000 on that stream. He hired her an editor. He got her a manager. He was willing to pay for her
new it's literally just behaving like a boyfriend.
VTuber model. They met up IRL and he took her to multiple.
Did someone actually make fun of me earlier saying lover? Sure, by the way. Did you guys laugh at me? Are you serious? Did you laugh at me? You said lover, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I have a feeling someone that scorned making 50 pages worth of Google Docky.
Michelin star restaurants. Dude blew
Wow.
a fucking apartment's down
I've never been
payment
to a
on
Michelin
this
star
girl
restaurant.
failure. But he was the only guy who actually had to spend this much money.
fucked.
The
They
other
100
5 guys spent almost nothing. And they got the same treatment that he got. What was that treatment, you might ask? Well, other than meeting up with her IRL and doing stuff, yeah, she's not a virgin. I mean, who could have ever guessed that? It
Strike one, you guys. Strike one.
all would start with them messaging her, being in her Discord, right? Messaging her, and her reciprocating. She would then get in calls with them, okay?
This is highly confidential and does not leave this chat, and I hope you take it well, okay? She said affirmations a few times on cam or just audio.
Listen, she would then get in calls with them. And as they were talking, right, they could be talking about their day, a game they're playing, whatever. She would start to flick her fucking bean, bro. She would start gooning right then and there to their voice. No warning, no nothing, dude. And then after she'd be
For the love
done,
of the
she'd send them
game.
explicit pictures. These guys would, of course, be shocked. What the hell is happening, dude? And then the next day when they'd ask her about it, she'd say,
They
oh,
say what the hell is happening, but they're like, oh my god, that was so fucking hot. Do it again! No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure there's like actually people who were uncomfortable and they were like, what the fuck? But if you're in a gooned out VTuber server, I feel like you probably, at least to some degree, expect that kind of treatment. Like, okay, maybe like in a normal server, you would be like, okay, what the fuck? Like, ew. But I feel like you probably expect it to some extent if you consciously go into a server like that.
I don't remember anything. I was severely drunk. Please delete all my pictures.
Oh my
However,
God,
she'd
delete
keep
all my
doing
pictures.
it over and over and over. And each of these guys thought that she was being exclusive just with them when she was doing this with 6
She was farming all of them. They didn't know.
people at the same.
Oh my god.
And as I
this
said,
is
she'd meet up with them, she'd
classic.
do things with them, God knows what.
This
But
is
overall, she
so
wasn't
good.
this pure virgin girl
She's
failure she was
AoE
making herself
farming.
out to be. That's pretty much the 51 pages in a nutshell. It also
She found
involved
the AoE
incredible
grinding
DMs
spot.
like this, with Elfin saying, "Bird eat you, bird eat you. If you just touch my noe, my puffy, it'll make me fub. Kun, teal it faster. Winku, you know, I'm gins what f good do." Average bird enjoyer would then say,
I had a friend that would text me like that because she would be like so distraught, and then it turns out she was completely fine the next day. Yeah, they would like fake typing badly in order to make it sound like they were like in distress or that they were like drunk or something.
translated, Elfin telling me if I touched her pussy, she'd come real fast.
I really didn't need to hear that. Thank you though.
What am I doing
Mr.
with
Mujin.
my life? Anyway, when this document
too,
came
I
out,
don't know, I'm watching it.
Elfin was furious. She was watching her entire world crumble around her. She saw what happened with Gunpei and did not want the same to happen to her. She had been parasocial her entire career. Her entire Discord was obsessed with her.
Yep.
She can't have this leak. And yet it did. So she would tweet this out almost immediately, saying, "I see shit like this and know for a fact that these people barely do any research and just love saying shit. I had phone sex for a couple of days or weeks with some guys." Okay, wait, hold the phone. Days or weeks?
With some guys. With some guys. Multiple plural.
That's a huge range. Anyway, I told all of them day one I was not into dating, and they agreed with me. Most of them don't even care about the situation. They went out of their way to message me just to say how stupid this drama was. Only Bird and another person who repeatedly tried to threaten and dox me were emotional homosexuals. Bird not only
This literally reads like a 4chan schizo post. I'm not even kidding. No fucking homosexuals.
went around trying to poison my community, he actively shared information about me to other server members in an attempt to make them join his side. He went to all my mods and all my close friends in the server. People saying, "Oh my god, there's
You think that someone who donated to you or like gave you 50,000 fucking dollars wouldn't react like this when they find out that you played them? I don't know. I feel like you should have just taken the money and like just married him and then done the classic woman thing and just divorced him like after a couple of years and then just moved on. I don't know. In a single year, that's an insane amount of money for basically doing nothing.
There's no evidence of Bird being a bad guy. First of all, 51-page expose about someone you apparently cared about as a friend, his words. If you really wanted to help me to stop my pattern of behavior, you could discuss it with me like everything else. Just to cut her off here, something else that was mentioned in those 51 pages was how when every single one of these guys found out what she was doing and confronted her, she would lash out. She'd get very angry and she wouldn't want to
Gaslight girl boss.
listen to a single thing they had to say, especially when they had something to say about alcohol, okay? Anyway, let's continue. But no, I only talked to Bird that way for a month. I crave validation from men. I admit I wanted compliments and I wanted attention, but he acted as if he was my dad. His friend would try to wingman and tell me I should meet Bird and just be with him. He could make my life so much better, and I straight up told him I wasn't into Bird. I have screenshots and evidence. Also, when I first started streaming and Bird came along...
But you still took all that money and you still met him and you probably had sex with him. I don't know, man.
I was 19 at the time, extremely new to VTubing and having this much attention. He taught me everything about VTubing and keeping me in a bubble. She would then talk about the point of women not taking accountability, saying, "Motherfucker, all I've done is say I'm not a victim."
Women be shopping, bro.
I keep fucking saying I was wrong too. Why are you just ignoring this? Oh my god, she cheated. On who? I was dating no one at the time. I never dated any of them. And I have screenshots of some of the guys saying they knew what it was. It was not dating. We had phones. Gooning.
Yeah, but you still made it under the impression that you were just like probably exclusive with this person. That's the problem here. That's the impression they got, and that's on purpose.
Quoting something that many people were saying, "Oh my god, these poor lonely men," while she replied, "While they're 25 plus adults. If a 19-year-old has to be held accountable for whatever she's done, you can't possibly in good faith ignore the horrible shit these men do just cause lonely. I literally live alone and talk to a total of 0 people IRL. I'm fucking lonely." And look at this very sad image she posted. Oh my god, it's her crying. But guys, don't worry. As she said in her own words, she is not acting like a victim. But look, to be completely impartial here, these guys were really weird, especially Average Bird and Joyer. Look, if you go and donate $10,000 in cash right now to a top streamer, they'll fucking block you because they know that you can't be donating this much money without ulterior motives. This document was made...
I'm very blessed that like every single time I've gotten like 1,000 or something like that dollars, people have not harassed me. Thank God my community's normal, bro. So far.
On purpose to destroy her career, isolate her, and further take advantage of her by manipulating her as she was all alone. Okay, the document also revealed that she's always been known as being a certain person on 4chan, someone who has had a history of sending nudes and being explicit. They'd even go as far as saying that while she was talking to these 6 different guys, she had an IRL boyfriend. It was an attempt at totally annihilating her entire reputation. At the same time, though, she refused to take any accountability. She'd say that she was groomed. Brother, you were 19.
Bro, you were 19. Unless you're lying, which is totally possible because you're a schizo. Yeah.
And you had continued by that point posting gooning audios on your general chat in Discord. What do you think this is? The objective conclusion to this entire drama was that everyone in this sucked ass. But no, Elfin wanted to be seen as the victim. And even though normally she should have had her career destroyed by this point, she should have been completely abandoned by her community, the opposite ended up happening. She again had defied all odds, and let me show you exactly why. Rima Evenstar is a VTuber who makes some very detailed video essays about the VTuber community. A couple months after this document had dropped, she would release the video titled "She Played Her Fanbase Like a Dating Sim, The Elfin Psyop Situation," garnering over 100,000 views. In this video, she would constantly be referring to Elfin as a menhera, a term for a character who is emotionally unstable and in poor mental health. They are very emotionally fragile and experience extreme mental ups and downs and mood swings, which can make them a bit difficult to be around. They may have an unhealthy dependence on love or their partner, be a troublesome person who displays unexpected aggression and tries to dominate others, be easily hurt by the smallest of words, or have suicidal thoughts and think the world would be better off without them. And man, I don't know about you, but this perfectly describes Elfin Psyop so far, right? But Elfin was outraged. She despised that video and hated Rima to the point where she added her on Twitter and said, "Rima Evenstar, I don't know why you like to spread genuinely dog shit and simply false rhetoric so easily. Maybe it's because you're a drama VTuber by name, but it's just bullshit to spread false things without confirmation. Firstly, when you made the drama video on me, you got a lot of facts wrong and didn't contact me to confirm details either. Nice journalism. Now you're spreading shit about me suicide baiting? To you?
But you do bait. You literally post. Bro, come the fuck on. Are we serious? I didn't know about this shit.
I'm sorry, what? I think you making a drama video on me during a time I was constantly drunk and not in a stable mental state would obviously fuck me up. Like you call me Menhera all the time and don't expect me to somehow crash out? I was still—
But the behavior display is that of a Menhera, and you self-admittedly say that you have an alcohol problem. How is that not a bad mental— You literally just said, I'm not in a mental state, but then you say, like, you call me a Menhera? It's like, you are one though, sorry.
relatively civil and only DM'd you about my
Frog
issues
is a
with your video,
frog.
hoping to at least
It's
get
croaking.
facts straight. Believing in random people messaging you rather than the person at the center of the situation is crazy. You do not hate journalists enough. In fact,
Thought she
this
was a
got
drama
so bad
VTuber, not a
that when Rima
journalist,
posted
buddy.
the tweet announcing the video, it would
Yikes.
get totally brigaded by Elfin's community. 102 replies, and
you're
all of them filled
You're
with
attacking the queen. Yeah, I understand why they did it.
insults, slurs, and an attempt to straight up character assassinate Rima, saying, wow, I used to watch your
How much did Bird pay you for this hit piece?
content, but not anymore. Wow, you're a terrible journalist. Wow, you suck at what you do, etc., etc.
Jesus
That's simply because Elfin had replied to this post and ratioed Rima, doubling her likes, simply saying that she is
Wow.
not a femcel. But this still doesn't explain how she was able to survive a Google Doc like this. This doesn't explain why she didn't end up like Gunpie. What happened exactly? Well, here's what her
Sims,
diehard
maybe?
fans had to say in response to her reply on Rima's post. And it perfectly encapsulates why she still had a very strong community that kept growing. Look at this idiot. Hey, I'd just like to say that I'm naive and emotionally vulnerable and would be easily groomed. DM me sometime. What about this dumbass? I'd be honored to be one of your toys. Crazy they're spinning it as a forced or bad thing. Lol.
That was what the fuck?
So these men were so irrevocably castrated that they realized, hey, I don't like this woman because she's a virgin. No. I like her because she's a girl failure and because she might give me a chance.
She lied to
If she did it with
you.
6 different guys at the same time,
She also lied about being a virgin.
what's stopping me from DMing her and
Apparently.
finding her in a call gooning with me? If anything, average
Gooning.
Bird Enjoyer's Google document backfired tremendously. It made Elfin Psyop seem way more reachable to the average viewer than they thought. So their whole fantasy, or should I
So if I give her a lot of money and attention, that means I have a chance. Okay, I got it.
say delusion of trying to fix
it means
her,
there's a
wifing
chance,
her
right?
up, impregnating her,
That guy
and
just failed
prolonging
at
the
it.
white race wasn't so far off. By this point, Elfin kept gaining followers, kept getting viral tweets, her community kept growing, she was making more money, and her viewership was
Yeah.
doing better than ever. She had reached over 100,000 followers, something very impressive, especially for a VTuber, and by this point, we could easily say that she was becoming very dangerous, because in VTubing, there are so many desperate people trying to make a name for themselves that they'll see what works and try to copy it. And since things were going so well with Elfin, since she was totally invincible to any criticism or controversy, someone would end up noticing how well she was doing and try to copy her, even though they had way more
that's just how it
followers and
works.
way more influence. Her and Elfin
That's just how it works naturally. Yeah, people will see something that works. That's why people also get influenced by different avatars. It's just this one is more of a personality-based thing and like a social media thing.
would end up becoming friends and then eventually enemies. Riri Gaki is a French rat VTuber who used to stream exclusively in French. Around 2024, she would start streaming more in English, and at some point, one clip from her stream would go mega viral. It went so viral
Oh,
that there's
the
actually a good chance you
rats!
saw this already. Watch.
Says their name. So
I
it is
saw this,
broccoli
it's cute.
with fucking dumb. Look. No brain cell. No brain, nothing. After we
No
have
brain.
here Fruby, who is one of my cutest rats too.
Cute.
Look. She's a Rex girl. She got curly hair.
Oh, she does it
She's really
earlier.
It's Bean. Bean is my only boy, but he don't have a cocoon yet.
Alright, so you get the point. French girl talking about her rats, very cute, very adorable. Yeah, well, it would go mega viral. 384,000 likes on Instagram, and guys, when it came to Twitter,
Cute girl being cute, yeah, it works.
12.7 million views, 134,000 likes. It was practically on everyone's feed, and everyone was talking about it. If you told someone, hey, did you see the French rat girl? They'd say, yes, I saw it on my feed. It went mega viral. I'm not understating this. She would then reply to this saying, hi, I'm Riri, a rat girl VTuber from France. You can follow me on Twitch or join my Discord if you want, link in bio, but be warned,
rat girl,
I'm
very
the most
cute.
hated VTuber of all France. And guys, she was not kidding. When the French community saw her going viral, they were livid. They saw how viral she was going with the English-speaking community, and they did their best to show them who she truly was. This person, for example, would say, maybe because you're a lolicon and you think Hitler is cool and you're overly annoying, you force your voice to sound like a kid, your response to saying the N-word is I hate everyone equally, look at yourself stuttering in your own f***ass tweet. Okay, so very brief lore dump on this bitch because there's no information in English on her. She used to be known as Riri Meow, and her whole content revolved around porn. Still does, but it was worse then. She was retweeting lolliporn and had a Discord server with tons of minors, etc, etc. They'd also link some edgy tweets she made in the past, like top 5 reasons racism is bad, and then the next picture is thanks for watching, so implying that racism isn't bad. Here's the deal though, Riri's defense on Twitter would be, guys, French people doxed me. They sent police at my house. Yes, they swatted me, and they harassed me at IRL conventions. All for this, for my edgy jokes, for being a lolly. All of a sudden, French people looked evil, and it doesn't take much to convince someone that French people are evil, okay? The French would argue, well, look, there's these videos on YouTube that expose her, go watch those things instead. Okay, cool. Here's a video titled, The Worst French Streamer, Riri Gaki, with over 448,000 views. Oh hey, here's another one, saying, the worst French streamer, Riri Meow, with over 245,000 views. I watched both of them in full, in the native language of French, and I can tell you right now, this is what they said in a nutshell. Number 1, she's edgy and she made Nazi jokes, okay? And number 2, she's a lolly. In fact, most of these 2 videos were criticizing her for being a lolly. That she was playing this childlike character, how she was speaking with a childlike voice, and how she was overall just cringe. But here's the deal. For the English-speaking community, this only proved one thing. French people, when it came to VTubing, were completely and utterly out of their depth. Yeah. VTubing originated from Japan, and this whole lolicon culture originated from there too. For people who actually watched VTubers, it was totally normal. It doesn't matter if you think lolicons are weird, right? I mean, I think it's a very reasonable take to think that. Yeah. But when your thumbnail is Riri Gaki with the word pedophile on top of it, you start losing a lot of people from your side. As time passed by, French people were seen as more and more unreasonable. This is not worth swatting over. This is not worth doxing over. You'd see pictures like this of a French person saying, lolicon equals pedophile, with Riri Gaki quote tweeting saying, don't cry, I'm just a drawing. The typical drama you'd find in English-speaking communities too, and typically VTuber watchers would always defend someone like Riri, so they were totally out of their depth here. They'd keep trying to prove that she was problematic, showing her using GIFs saying, settle down, N-word hard R, and also showcasing how she had a role on her Discord called Rotten Waffen, a play on words on the Waffen SS, otherwise known as the Waffen Schutzstaffel, a division in the German army during World War II. Their efforts, again, proved ineffective. And the final straw would be when they would show this image of Riri when she was streaming with Facecam, apparently doing the, German salute from World War II. Well, you even had Asmongold reacting to it. I remember that. He concluded, as well as others, that she was simply adjusting her webcam. Guys, you're trying way too hard to make her look bad.
Yeah, so it discredits the people that were like saying, oh, she's done bad things. Yeah.
Come on. This was seen as so crazy in the English-speaking community that even Elfin went out of her way to defend her as she was being cancelled by French people. By this point, Riri Gaki was followed directly by Asmongold on Twitter, and she had the entire English-speaking community backing her up. I didn't know what happened. She was treated horribly by the French community, but now she got given a second chance straight from the heavens. However, here's the problem. I don't know if it was...
Again, I think, I put Riri sort of, in the same genre or the same box that I put, Cinder in. And, by the way, before people get mad, when I say that, I'm not trying to imply that their controversies are similar in any way. Or that they're in the same tier of wrong or anything like that. Just hear me out. Cinder was It's Just Business, and Riri was dropping hard R's. It's not even close to the same. I draw the comparison because of the way that I treat them as content creators that are in the same sphere as that I'm in, They're both VTubers. They had a big controversy. They apologized for their wrongdoings in their own way. And then they moved on and kept streaming. I don't give a fuck if I have pyropups in my audience that watch Cinder. I don't care if I have re-reviewers. I think she's rated me a few times, actually, in the past. I don't think they should be barred from streaming or doing whatever they want to do. I think people have a right to know what they did and what their history is, and then come to their own conclusions. That's how I approach it, personally. I think that's fine. So long as they don't repeat that controversial behavior or when we start having pattern recognition. And to my knowledge, they haven't. I'm also pretty sure, before I watched this video, right? I saw the Twitter post on Mujin. That's how I knew about it, right? She replied to it and made a comment. She basically said she was being retarded and cringe and feels bad and that she doesn't do that anymore. That's like the gist of it. She's rated me a few times as well. Her views are really nice, if I remember correctly, and I didn't have to ban anyone. So, like, I think it's reasonable to not like her and want nothing to do with her. Maybe she's lying and just realized the edgy grift wasn't gonna, like, work anymore and that apology was fake. Or maybe she actually does feel bad and turned a new leaf. There's literally there's no way to know for sure. I think she's aware of it.
The language barrier, or just the fact that she's probably mentally ill, but Ririgaki completely misunderstood what the second chance meant. She thought that she now could finally get away with anything. She could say anything, do anything, and she'd have a community here to back her up always. When in reality, this wasn't the case at all. What actually happened was that she got a second chance, got a new community, and they were hoping that French people were exaggerating. They were hoping that she was going to genuinely redeem herself. And as you might have guessed, this could not have been further from the truth. Shortly after getting this incredible second chance, she would increase the racist and edgy rhetoric by 1000%, all while adding that to a cancerous cocktail of politics. Some guy would say, French quote-unquote people, the fuck is wrong with your country, Jesus? To which Ririgaki would say, immigrant and African. Here's another tweet with a lot of views and a lot of likes. Saw a Jew for the first time in my life yesterday. I always thought they were all extinct. Here's her comparing Nazis to trans people. I mean, with the only difference being the fact that one has impressive taste in clothing and the other one being promoted by the US government. She'd have a tweet saying, can I be called a white rat supremacist? I love white rat. And when Kanye West would say, I'm a, you know what, she would quote tweet this with an image of an anime girl raising her hand. So as I said, she completely misunderstood the very simple thing she had to do. Just keep talking about your rats, woman. Just keep being cute. But no, she had over 130,000 followers at this point, and she was taking a page right out of Elfen Psyop's playbook. Probably the worst thing you can do. But hey, it seemed like they were getting along very nicely. Ririgaki would say, can you teach me how to be cute, please? And Elfen would reply with, but you're already so kawaii desu. It seemed like the 100,000 castrated men who followed Elfen just had another girl failure join the mix. And they were getting along. Not only did they increase their odds of maybe fixing another woman and marrying her too, but now maybe they could look forward to them collabing together, right? So oh my god, isn't that awesome? Yes, well, I'm sure it would have been. But then some people decided to dig into Ririgaki's past when she used to be Riri Meow and produced adult content. Now look, let's get one thing straight. Riri never produced any explicit content. It was mostly centered around thighs and feet. And while yes, this was enough for people to call her a whore and all sorts of things, this is simply who she used to be. And for the most part, I mean, people loved it. Oh my god, a girl failure and making stuff like this? It's like Elfen posting her tummy. What else do you want? But as these castrated guys were looking through her different images,
the type of shit
they
you send
noticed
to a
something
guy, right?
interesting, particularly in one image set of 3 images. You see, she'd have a photo set where she wore non-matching thigh highs.
The thigh highs, and they're different, and you can see her fita.
Everything looked normal, right? On this picture, on the other picture, until you got to the 3rd picture, in which we can very clearly see.
No! Male in picture! Male! It's a man!
Black guy's hand grabbing her.
Oh, I didn't even realize there was a black man. I was immediately like, male on stream? Oh.
her left thigh. Now look, normally this wouldn't be an issue. I would hope that it's never an issue.
Chat.
But saying that Ririgaki would tweet out every other day how France and Paris is getting ruined by immigrants, and more specifically Africans, her new, let's say, community wasn't too happy about this. In fact,
I immediately thought like male on stream.
they
We
were
don't see
furious.
colors here. We
It
see
seemed
men
like no
and
matter how much
women.
Ririgaki disliked African immigrants, she still couldn't resist the BBC. I mean, this is just so
Mujin, why do you have to say that?
funny to me. It was treated like this
Can't
leak,
resist
this
the
thing that no one could have ever
BBC.
predicted, when in reality, on her own wiki page, you can see that in 2023, she made some guy called Euro, who happened to be a VTuber, her boyfriend. And when you checked out his model, he was,
He's black.
I mean, his model was black. But no, it was a betrayal. How dare she? And she suffered the wrath of her own community. She had pretty much stabbed herself with a knife she forged herself. It was a
Well, you have extremely parasocial guys. You treat yourself as a girl favorite. Like you make yourself dateable, and then that's your entire shtick. And then you tell everyone you have a boyfriend, then you wonder why they get mad. I think this is just you're so silly. Why'd you do that? You silly goose.
official. She was a grifter. Someone who didn't believe in anything she was
We're
saying
talking about the
and was
whole,
only
like,
doing it
race
purely
traitor
for her
bullshit,
own
right?
benefit.
Yeah.
Someone would say, if you can't see the grift in tweeting racist shit, then race mixing all while hating immigrants, then I don't know what to tell you. To which she would say, bro thinks all French people are all white like snow, lol, we have an island. Actually, the French have multiple islands, like Corsica, Guadeloupe, République, but this didn't matter at all
True.
in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
As she was getting attacked pretty much daily at this
Speak
point
French
with her own
in some
community turning
African
against her,
countries,
she would
no?
try to quell the flames by becoming even more edgy somehow
Jesus
and saying,
Christ.
next cosplay I'm doing, Lolly Hitler. This would prove to be nothing more than a pathetic attempt at recovering the community that was turning on her, because very shortly afterwards, she would get suspended
Oh,
from
yeah.
Twitter by mass reporters who just so happened to be people who were pissed that she was dating a black guy. And the cherry on top would be her also getting suspended from Twitch. In her own Discord, she'd say, "Hi, I got banned from Twitter and Twitch again because of a big campaign of harassment and cancel culture. I did a tweet on my alt account if you want
I
to
didn't know she
RT,
got
I don't
banned
know
off
what.
Twitch as
I'm tired.
well.
I really hope to die." Here we go with the baiting again. I don't know. I don't want to let my haters win, but I'm really too tired. 4 years of all this is too much. You can follow my new account if you want, linking her Clips account and saying, "I don't know if I'll be back one day. I'm really tired." She would then post a statement on that account saying, "If you didn't see it, my main account was mass reported from Twitter haters because some
Yeah,
of them believe that I'm a
probably.
Nazi and the others are mad that I'm not racist. I love it. Seeing people this mad and obsessed by a little rat girl proves to me that I'm really the only person here. You are part of the problem if you think that everybody I don't like is Hitler. Being racist is good, or VTuber shouldn't have a boyfriend. I'm going to take a little break from Twitter while waiting for my appeal to be accepted. Thank you all for the support. I love you a lot. I have an incredible community and lots of kind people who support me. I'm never going to kneel down in front of horrible humans, and I'm never going to let them cancel me. Cancel culture is dead and exists only for insecure people. I'm still going to stream on Twitch and YouTube and be active on Instagram and Discord. Your support means the world to me. Keep making extremist people pissed off and laugh at them. We are stronger
la
than hate. And remember,
ratsistance.
vive la ratsistance. Rats live matter and are stronger than evil humans. Signed, Riri. So look, in the end, this was a desperate attempt at trying to recoup a community that hated her guts at this point. After getting that incredible second chance with a mega
got
viral clip,
doxxed? Yeah.
she spent all that time nurturing
We already know that she got doxxed because of the French community before
a racist community, people who disliked immigrants and minorities, and it turned out she had a black boyfriend. Her initial haters felt vindicated, and her own community now turned on her. You couldn't really feel sorry for her, right? But throughout all this, her friend, Elfin, who was also another girl failure like her, and who had initially defended her when the French people were attacking her, what did she have to say by now? Would she show up for her, defend her, help her like a real friend would? Nope. She would also turn on her, because the girl failures would have a falling out that would make its way to the public
Oh
battlefield.
no!
So as I said before, Elfin was someone who had defended Riri initially when she was getting the backlash after going mega viral. They would have some positive interactions here and there, but
Yeah, I
shortly
saw that.
after Average Bird Enjoyer's document would drop on Elfin, Riri Gaki would say, "Is this Gunpei 2.0? Someone would reply saying, "Please, rat girl, you're my last hope for a based petite girl failure indie VTuber. Don't e-date fans unless it's me, LMAO. Gotta compute."
Unless it's me! It should have been me!
In my fucking mouth. To which she would say, "I'm not gonna e-date a fan, I have a boyfriend and I'm just a pet rat for you." So this was essentially Ririgaki trying to capitalize on the fact that Elfin was potentially going to lose her career because of this document. She was taking the moral high ground, trying to steal any viewers she can from Elfin because she was trying to become her. This
Well,
is what
they're fighting over the same niche. That's why this could have never worked. There can only be one apex predator in the ecosystem.
Elfin would start to
Yeah.
subtweet her, not calling her directly just yet, saying the amount of e-holes rebranding to be girl failures, please bro, you do porn. You sell literal porn of yourself. Just go be some slutty cat
She's
girl or something. This is of
subtweeting!
course referring to Ririgaki, how in the past she had a fansly and how now she rebranded as being a girl failure. When it came to her parasocial Discord though, she was way more straightforward. Someone would say Riri is nice though, to which she would reply, I can't say this in good conscience when she blatantly called me Gunpie when my controversy happened. I can't forget that shit.
Ooh, she
Lol.
mad. Big
How
mad.
dare she call me Gunpie when I'm way worse than her? Like, how dare she when I'm literally worse than her in every way? The main confrontation between these two girl failures would occur when Elfin would post this tweet, with her character saying, hey guys, someone saying femcel, to which her character would say, not what I'm called. Shortly afterwards, Ririgaki would also use that same exact meme format, saying, hey guys, with someone saying, not me, to which Riri would say, not what I'm called. Elfin at this point would be furious. How dare she copy me? So she would quote tweet this and
Oh my god, this is so catty. Oh my god.
say, you guys are all over
Holy
her. How can she be
shit.
a Nazi when she has a black boyfriend? Y'all need to do
That's so-
research.
This is so
was
retarded,
Elfin
right?
declaring war.
It reminds me of two high school girls fighting. I'm sorry.
She saw that her community was turning
Like
on her because she had a black
15-year-olds?
boyfriend, so she was also looking to capitalize. However, Elfin was about to fight a war on two fronts.
Uh-oh.
She was going up against
That's bad.
Ririgaki, while at the
You can't spread your ammo.
same time having a demon from her past catch up to her, 4chan. You see, she was an active 4chan user
Oh,
ever
no.
since she was a young kid. Yes, I know, what a terrible fate. And 4chan would catch on to
Everybody
her.
used
They'd
4chan a
understand
little
exactly
bit.
who she used to be and would start revealing some details about her real identity. The fact that she is a
Why would you ever do that? Do you realize like there's schizos out there who like know how each other type and like how people have a signature of like talking even in text. Yeah, I don't know. We got ads in a minute. Okay. We'll take a little break. I do have to pee. Like, how long has it been? Probably like an hour. Yeah. Talking signature's real? Yeah, absolutely. Like, why the fuck would you admit to that? Like, I never typed in 4chan ever. I just read it. Like, I had friends that sent me memes and we would laugh about it. That's about it.
Алло.
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 Да.
Да.
Алло, блядь.
Пиздец.
Пиздец.
Алло.
Что за хуйню вообще говорит? Я не понимаю.
Блядь.
Блядь.
Суки, блядь.
I sent this to my mom and dad. And they laughed so hard. They were like, what the fuck? Is that guy drunk? Ну чё, пьяный, блядь? Oh god, it was so funny. Anyway, sorry about that.
Pakistani who's studying in the UK. Now look, this was a very big deal, okay? Elfin Psyop's entire personality was centered around appealing to the cringe white supremacist who never leaves his home. She would also heavily imply, as you saw in her belly pics that she shared online, she seemed white, and that's exactly what she was.
I say "niet" a lot, and people ask me if I'm Slavic on stream. I'm not just a huge Russia boo. Oh, like weeaboo, but Russia? Okay.
selling to her audience, the fact that she's white and even Slavic. At some point she would say,
Okay.
I say niet a lot, which means no, and people ask me if I'm Slavic on stream. I'm not, I'm just a huge Russia boo. So
Oh
she
my
posted
God.
pictures of her belly and she seemed white. She also was really into Russian culture, I guess, and Russian language. So
okay.
people assumed she was maybe Eastern European. In fact, her accent sounded pretty American. Some people would think she's American and she would never really correct them. So seeing that she despised immigrants and any minorities for that matter, her being Pakistani would be a death sentence. But this rumor wasn't new. It was being shared on
It's a
4chan
rumor.
as early as mid-2024. It would start to really catch up to her and irritate her in 2025 though, specifically during the summer. This is when, for the first time, she would start being confronted live on stream by chatters who were asking her, "Are you really Pakistani?" And she would get very triggered at that.
Oh no. Oh no.
Watch.
Pretending to be white? I don't think I need to pretend. I think I am.
Here's another clip.
Takis aren't white. You are so retarded, dude. That's actually insane. Do you realize how ethnicities work? Do you realize how ethnicities work?
What?
Maybe you don't. Genuine question. Aren't you a Paki living in the UK? Who are you to complain? Did you get that from 4chan?
So here we are. She was starting to realize where these people were getting their information from. Wait, did you get this from 4chan? The website that she kept flexing, that she had used ever since she was 13?
So she's a 4chan Pakistani woman that's a Russia boo. Я не понимаю, что за хуйня? Кто придумывает это вообще? Like, who the fuck thinks of this shit? And this is actually reality. This is real. This isn't like some made-up story.
Interesting. By early 2025, many pictures of Elfin's face would somehow find themselves on the internet. So she tweeted out in May 2025,
Someone
I've been
probably
face
leaked
doxxed
it,
and
yeah.
harassed so much now, so here, this is me. Yup, now what? LMFAO, it don't even matter, man, no more. Now this image is actually very important. It would of course get deleted later. She would draw some clown makeup on her face in Microsoft Paint, right? I can tell you right now, this clown nose is doing a lot of heavy lifting because it would have very easily exposed her ethnicity. Additionally, it doesn't take a genius to understand that this image is blown the
Yeah,
fuck
the
out.
exposure
Look
is
at that
really
hand.
high.
It is blinding. Almost as if she completely upped the levels in Photoshop in an effort to appear white.
I had a friend from Thailand that did that, but that's because they don't like having like darker skin. It's like an actual thing with like makeup, and they either do a lot of makeup or they blow it up in Photoshop. I remember I caught it too one time. We took a picture together and she like only photoshopped her face. Yeah, she used the Dodge filter and like blew up her what is it called? Like her skin color to make it like really white. Koreans do
Something
that
would
too.
really
Yeah, it's a
crack an
thing.
Elfin
Yeah.
starting summer 2025, okay? This is when she would up the edginess to yet a new level. And so whenever someone criticized her or called her a Pakistani or said that they had proof, she would just call them a Jew. And it would work because her community hated Jews. This would work almost every single time. They'd eat it up. They would love it. And she would get away with it. However, as her rivalry with Ririgaki would start really heating up, Ririgaki would say
Why are
this.
you
I love how she was
Dude, they're so mad at each other. Holy shit!
trying to cancel me, saying I was dating an immigrant, black/Indian/Arabic boy, while pretending to be white. Lol. To which Elfin would say, why are you so obsessed
Dude.
with me, man? Now I was getting serious. Look, Ririgaki, as much as she was hated for dating a black guy, she still held influence in the whole girl failure aesthetic club. She shared many followers in common with Elfin, this 100,000 bundle of castrated men, and so her saying what many have been saying already
They're all fighting
was
each
a
other.
genuine
There's always infighting between them too. Like if they're both fighting, all of them are going to be fighting each other in the comments because they feel like they have to. And if they show their dedication to their queen, maybe they'll pick them.
threat. This drama started really heating up around November
Yes.
2025, to which Ririgaki would say,
Yes.
please stop thinking of me as a girl failure, guys, it's exhausting. I did learn to take care of me. I go outside a lot now. I have a lot of passion and love for nature and cool subjects like aircraft or insects. I really like myself and take care of me. I did reduce my alcohol drinking to 0. I'm fucking proud to be alive and my depression is going away. Please understand that and stop seeing me as a 4chan weirdo or a girl who is mentally ill and drama post / talk about political toxic subject, obsessed with skin color or not jokes. It makes me really sad. I'm getting better and becoming a cool person now that my life is comfy. Yes, I like edgy humor and I don't care about humans or minorities, but I'm a responsible adult, not a failure or anything else. I'm just Riri. Someone would reply with, that's literally the audience you wanted and even commissioned yourself as a Nazi or girl failure, a loser. Did the elfin grift not work? To which Riri would say, yeah,
That's
Nazi
an
uniform are
editor
really
clipper.
pretty. It's like talking to a wall. This tweet was definitely very interesting and a
Yeah.
bit out of touch. I mean, what have you been doing the past year? She's practically begging everyone to stop thinking of her as a girl failure when she only had herself to blame.
You did make your bed. You're just gonna have to live with it. Telling people to stop isn't gonna make them stop. That's the funny part.
She was the one who was intentionally acting that way. Elfin would quote tweet that tweet and say, I'm so f***ing confused about this woman, I swear. Was an OnlyFans catgirl VTuber. Starts following me, completely changes design to look like mine. Suddenly became an alcoholic, quote unquote. Starts copying my tweets 1-to-1. This is not an exaggeration, by the way. Okay, the tweets would be very, very similar. Before discovering
Goon cave, goon! Gooning!
Elfin, Riri literally had no idea what gooning meant. And there she was all of a sudden every couple of days tweeting, yeah, I need to goon. I need to go goon. I goon too much. This was literally Elfin's entire personality. And there she was emulating it perfectly. Elfin would continue.
Okay.
I DM her about it, say I'm uncomfortable about it. She says, oh my god, sorry, you're my biggest inspiration. We make amends and move on. I support her when she gets into a big drama. When I get into drama, calls me Gunpie 2.0 instead of DMing me and asking me what's up. So-called friend, am I right? I get pissed at this and stop talking to her. Copies me further. Almost all my jokes, all my edgy humor. Oh my god, guys, I'm so gross and gooner and girl failure and edgy, and posts not shit constantly. Where did all this suddenly come from, bro? A few months pass. Now she says, oh my god, I'm healthy. I don't drink anymore and I go outside. I'm not a Nazi, guys. Basically, we should forget the past few months happened entirely. Literally attacks me out of nowhere, saying I accused her for having a black boyfriend. I don't care about your boyfriend's race, man. I don't care about you, dude. Can you leave me alone and maybe try to be more creative? You don't get pity points because people attack you online. You literally did it to yourself. I'm edgy.
They were fucking subtweeting each other. Like, what? Oh, come on, man. This is so retarded.
I know people will dislike me for it. I've been like this since day one. You started being like this after following me. Please learn to be yourself and stop attacking people for no reason. Thanks.
I'm too employed for this drama. I know that.
Points here.
That's
Yes,
why
it is true.
Mujin,
Riri definitely started acting like her after following her. That's a fact. It seemed like Ririgaki's intent from the get-go was stealing as many viewers as she could from her, and when she saw that Elfin was potentially going to lose her career, she didn't try to defend her. She tried to make her move and call her Gunpie 2.0. However, it's not like Elfin wasn't doing the exact same thing. Look at this sentence near the end. I'm edgy and I know people will dislike me for it. I've been like this since day one.
I'm the real
this
one.
Whole idea
I'm the
that,
original.
Guys, I'm real. I'm
Yes.
authentic. In fact, Elfin would go as far as saying on her stream that Ririgaki was a very rare example of a true grifter. In her opinion, the word is overused. Not everyone's a grifter, but Riri was. This was her implying, of course, that she was a real girl failure. She was actually proudly alcoholic. Everything about her was totally authentic. And hey, to be fair, it worked. After Elfin would make her post,
We can't even confirm that either. Like, you can say you were drunk on stream and shit, or like drunk in Discord gooning, but you can't even confirm that. Like, I think this is so nonsensical.
About Riri, someone would confront Riri, asking her, yo, what's up?
Unless
Like, what
there's,
happened
like,
with
videos of
Elfin?
her doing
Here's what
it,
she'd
I
say in her
guess.
Discord. She tried a lot in the past to get me canceled on Twitter and can't stop talking about how I stole her identity because I have a
Where's this
similar humor,
screenshot?
/black hair, /loves alcohol, /depressed. Dude, imagine making that your entire personality and being mad that someone stole it. Dude, who are these people? And
This is like when people made Tumblr blogs and they made their own like codes and designs, and then they would sell them, and then there's people that would copy them, and then they get really mad that people had really similar designs of their Tumblr page. I'm not even kidding. It kind of just sounds like that to me.
Anyway,
Yeah,
she would continue,
do
cannot
not
stand her.
steal.
I did try to be her friend, but cannot stand girls sending nudes to 6 persons at the same time while trying to proclaim
for not
that she
being
doesn't have a
weird. I'm
boyfriend,
weird in
is
my own
white,
way,
and is
man.
not a whore all the time because she doesn't want to lose her community. She is not honest, and she is just another gimmick like she says. Now, to be fair, even Riri had made good points here, right? But it's like, both of these people are so unlikable, you don't really care about taking sides, do you? However, even with all that being said, the next day, Riri would make yet another post on her Twitter. Her alt account, of course, because her main one got permanently suspended. Her appeal failed. She'd say, I would like to apologize for all the people following me because I was looking and acting like a based, edgy girl failure. I know the drastic change of me getting mentally better and stopping to act like a loser can be deceiving for a lot of you, and I understand if you stop following me, but I cannot keep going like that. Sorry for looking fake. I never lied about my depression or my daily difficulty like my alcohol consummation. I don't think she even bothered translating this, bro. Consommation, that's literally a French word, but yeah, her alcohol consumption. Secondly, I would like to apologize to @ElfinPsyop. I have her blocked because I don't want toxicity in my feed and don't appreciate her as a person, but I feel like it's still important to talk about that. I found Elfin's content when I was at my lowest after all the harassment from the French community, and instead of being a better person or learning to love myself, I ended up stealing and copying some of her gimmick, like she called it. This is not correct and not what a content creator should do. I did tweet like her and used to do the same content on Twitter as her to be accepted and seen by people having cool humor, things that do not exist in France, but I'm not proud of that, and I would like to have learned sooner that I should just be myself instead of wanting some attention on the internet while copying somebody's gimmick. I'm sorry, Elfin, for all of that, and for not talking gently about you publicly after having your help. I hope one day you have the chance to get better and go away from all the toxicity that Twitter and other social media are spreading. I understand that you see me as a LARPer or a grifter, but my political beliefs were never fake. I live in a dangerous country because of immigration and multiple other things. I just ended up basing my content only on that and edgy jokes to pander to these types of people when I'm in fact just a normal autistic woman who just want to share her hobbies. I'm not gonna lie, but I see myself as a LARPer. I also want to talk to you about the black boyfriend controversy.
Oh, Lord.
I know a lot of my past fans were following me because of all this LARPing. I understand your sadness when you learn about the VTuber that you considered as based having what you thought was a black immigrant boyfriend. I
can't take this seriously. Who fucking cares?
I don't like saying that, but dating an immigrant or a black male is not something I would be able to do. I did date for 2 years in the past a brown/tan French male. This always was public since I was always streaming with him. Guys, don't worry, he wasn't black, he was just brown.
Took the words right out of my fucking mouth. Guys, chill. He's not black. He's brown. Don't worry about it. It's different.
Dude. After all this LARPing, I think this is normal and my own fault that I ended up in a situation where I get harassed by my old fan base. Sadly, you're just following me for the based girl failure thing and not even to look after my content or stream since you did not know about my ex-boyfriend. This makes me really sad that all this love was fake, but this is again my own fault for acting like that. I'm deeply thankful to all the rat bros believing in me and understanding my word. You are the reason why today I can be this better person. Thanks to all the people who still love me and not just my toxic past, I love you. So first off, I just want to point out how she was talking about this like it happened in the past. Bro, this literally happened like 2 months ago. You know, like this.
I mean, that is the
there
past,
was barely any
Mujin.
time between the old account and the new account. But
60
hey, you know what?
No,
A surprising amount.
Mujin, 60 days is a long time in internet time, okay? Like, that's like 10 years ago. Get with the fucking program, Grandpa.
Of self-awareness in this post. She pretty much admitted she was a LARPer. That's because she was. She was a LARPer and she was a grifter. Pretty much the same thing. But of course, this post wouldn't even get half the engagement she used to get when she would say, BRB going to my room to goon. But hey, it seems like some people stuck around for the rats and whatever. Most people who followed her for being a girl failure already left anyway when they found out she had a black boyfriend. Elfin would yet again make another post after this one, this time saying, I don't own the girl failure aesthetic, okay? It didn't matter to me as much when Riri was outright copying my tweets, word for word, just twisted to look more French. That made me feel weird. Any joke I made or content idea was being copied. I felt like I couldn't do anything original anymore, and I care about novelty more than anything. Yes, we know that, Elfin. You're not like the other girls, right? To be fair, a lot of people here thinking we used to be friends aren't exactly wrong. I genuinely thought we made up and were good friends until I found out how she talks about me behind my back. I genuinely tried, man. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm super mean usually, and she was kind back and said I was her biggest inspiration. I've dealt with mean girls all of my high school, man. I've had many bullies and fake friends. To me, this greatly resembled the fake friend trope. So I don't like this defamation of Elfin is so toxic. I only copied her because I'm autistic and just want to make content. I'm sorry if you go through stuff, but you're an adult actively making choices every day. You had the choice to just be friendly with me. She would then congratulate Riri on being less depressed and getting rid of alcohol and end this by saying, but please, if you truly were someone who understood what it's like to be someone who had a problem with those things, stop shitting on me for being a girl failure alcoholic now that you're better. Trust me, I don't choose to feel depressed all the time. So again, you know, I'm a victim, guys. I've been bullied all my life. You know, I'm a girl failure. I'm a real girl failure, okay? Stop pretending that you are real. Trust me, I don't choose to feel depressed all the time, okay? I'm authentic. But my favorite part is when she says, I'm sorry if you go through stuff, but you're an adult actively making choices every day. Because that's literally what people were telling Elfin when she got exposed.
I'm not gonna lie, I keep thinking back to like, what if a man wrote this and they were like a popular VTuber? Let's just like put it that way. Do you think people would care even like a fraction as much? How does Mujin do this? I don't know. My brain is glazing over. Like my brain is getting smoother by the minute.
As having been gooning to 6 guys at the same time. Look, overall, this was
Gooning
nothing
to
more than
6
two
women at
very
the same
disliked
time.
monkeys fighting. But if you step back and looked at the bigger picture, this situation would go from a clown show to something very alarming. As you saw, Elfin was
no,
practically
Christ.
invincible. Riri took heavy inspiration from her seeing how much success she was finding as being a girl failure, and even though she had more followers and had way more virality, she still proceeded to copy her directly. Elfin was starting to become not just a danger to herself or to her fans, but to everyone in the VTubing community as a whole. Being a girl failure should never be something that's encouraged. It's not a good thing. It's not meant to be a good thing. And yet her success was encouraging others to follow her lead. I mean, why wouldn't they? If saying racist slurs wasn't going to get her canceled, if having a secret boyfriend wasn't going to get her canceled, if having 6 different guys you're gooning to at the same time wasn't going to get her canceled, then the $1 million question was, what will? Well, what would end up canceling Elfin Saya?
Is that Osu? Oh my god, I loved Osu back in like 2012. Like 2012, 2014.
The person who had pretty much nurtured 100,000
Is that a
castrated men
Pakistani
who
flag?
identified
Yeah, it
as white
is.
supremacists would be the day that she was finally exposed
No.
as a Pakistani. So, as I had already mentioned, Elfin's tweets would start to take a turn during the summer of 2025. Her edginess wouldn't just be for the sake of being edgy anymore. She would take on a sort of political rhetoric that you would maybe find during a Nick Fuentes stream. Look at this tweet, for example. Don't understand how you can live in this modern world and see all the bad shit happening and not immediately connect the dots and see that it's Jewish influence. So now, the Jews were responsible for everything. How about this tweet made a little while later, saying, I love astronomy so much and I love stargazing, but I can't because there's too many immigrants in the UK and it scares me to go outside alone. As far as anyone was concerned, she wasn't even British. She wasn't from the UK, right? But there she was taking a political stance for a country that she doesn't even belong to. This tweet in particular will
lives there
become
at
way
least,
funnier
I
later.
think,
You'll
right?
get why. But it wasn't just political rhetoric that was taking hold of her edginess.
Holy.
It was her edginess itself that was taking a whole other level. For example, with her posting this image of her model saying, R word my model. Then replying, sorry guys, I meant R word with an asterisk. The joke here is that she wasn't correcting herself, she actually meant it. She'd also make a conscious effort to play into the jokes and controversies that were made about her. Look at this tweet, for example. Groomer this, groomer that, come here, let me groom you. This was in reference to the Google Doc that was dropped about her, in which 6 men that were in their 20s said that she groomed them. At some point, she'd post a selfie that would get a lot of likes, of course,
grooming
with
was for
her nose
minors.
and mouth blurred because it would show her ethnicity, and had the caption, Elfin Brownop. This was her playing into the joke that some people were starting to call her Pakistani.
joke.
So look, by now, it might be obvious what she's trying to do. She was being heavily criticized when it came to her actions by the wider VTuber community, and yet...
She's doing the thing where she wants to soften the blow before it happens. I see what I can kind of understand what she's doing. Yeah, like desensitize your audience to it. To like, oh, it's a joke, haha, and then like it happens.
Her own community also had criticisms relating to the fact that she might just be Pakistani. This was her attempting to play into the joke while also raising the bar for her edginess, hoping that it'll kind of insulate her from criticism. This desperate attempt of trying to move on from the fact that
Not a big fan of Indians.
she might just be an immigrant and trying to move on from her controversies would result in some pretty embarrassing moments, like her public crash out during the summer of 2025 when she would begin by saying, not a big fan of Indians. Someone would reply with, do not do this, you don't have to right-wing grift. This is probably someone who found her character and liked the design or just liked the belly
Yeah,
pic.
that happens.
This is when she'd completely and totally crash out. Grift, question mark? Someone would say, you're
This might be a hot take, but this is like how I view things. Generally on social media, maybe like life in general, there are like 2 prevailing kinds of racism, like ironic racism and unironic racism. Ironic racism is the kind of racism where a group of guys tell a racist joke and everyone laughs and thinks it's funny, but it's just that, like, it's just a joke, right? It's the meme. A lot of you have probably seen a meme that's basically like, guy tells racist joke, and then the next panel says his friends, and it's like a picture of a very diverse group of dudes of all races. Like, you know what I'm talking about, right? I think if everyone is being honest, this is like really common and very unproblematic. And I hate using the word problematic and unproblematic, but you get my point. Like, everyone does it. Like, it's only a problem when cringe retards, usually like Reddit mods and that type, and like Karens, try to pin you as racist on Twitter. And then there's unironic racism, which is a lot of what we're seeing here. It's like what you'll universally see on like 4chan, right? And I think the problem is that there are a lot of people that have like trouble like telling the difference between the two. For better or for worse. Like, I think there's people that see unironic racism and go, haha, they must be joking. And then there's also people who are Karens that see ironic racism, friends telling jokes to each other, and then think you're a Nazi. I think sometimes, not always, but sometimes that inability for people to tell the difference can act like almost like a fog of war. And it will give unironic racism a benefit of the doubt, like they're just being edgy. When in reality, they just like hate certain races, right?
So brave and definitely not a pick-me who tries too hard to look based. To which you would say, uh-oh, the big pick-me word, I'm so scared, please don't use it. Funny when I
think that's like it's like almost like a defensive barrier, like the fog of war that I'm talking about. Like, it gives people the benefit of the doubt. It's like you're playing a character, almost.
My unfiltered opinions, I'll get random retards saying, oh my god, pick me, oh my god, grifter. You realize when I say shit like that, I lose and filter more people rather than gain, right? I'd rather have people know what I think about shit than just follow me for cute tummy pics, expecting a wholesome person. Keck. Funny enough, my opinions have remained the same since I was 14 on major social issues. I think I'm pretty consistent with my mentality on things. It's so funny to me how she thought this was a flex. That same person, snot-nosed swagger, would call her out and say, so you have the same opinions as a 14-year-old? Wow! And then he'd get blocked. She couldn't handle it. She crashed out and she just couldn't handle it anymore. The crash outs and weird behavior wouldn't be constricted to just Twitter though. It would also happen in her Discord. She starts saying things that were definitely out of place. I mean, they were fairly random, right? For someone who was maybe Slavic or American, saying things like, Northern Pakistan is entirely Aryan. No one seems to understand.
That's really suspiciously, yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's really specific, bro. Like, how do you know that?
And that. Pretty suspicious thing to say when you're not Pakistani. All of a sudden, this was very different from the rhetoric she was taking about...
Yeah, like a little, just a tiny little bit too defensive, in my opinion. Like, how do you know that?
Immigrants and Pakistanis in general when it came to the UK. She used to tweet things like, if leftists think some girl on the internet is a pedophile for posting petite girls that look like her on the internet, then why do they promote immigration that bring in Muslim, pedophile, and racists? Curious. This is really funny when you consider the fact that some of the biggest Muslim immigrants to the UK are Pakistani, right? You see where I'm going with this? All of a sudden, when the pressure was mounting on Elfin and it seemed like it was inevitable that she was going to be revealed as Pakistani, she started shifting the blame from Muslims to the Jews, saying things like, oh, the reason why all the Muslims are coming to Europe was because Jews want to destroy society. She'd also suspiciously start saying things like this. I'm not gonna lie, Muslims got one thing right, and it's that pigs are filthy animals.
What an oddly specific thing to say. What a suspicious thing to say.
No nutritional value and so much fat relative to beef and chicken. Not even enough protein. Pork sucks in general. Bacon is good sometimes, but bacon in the UK is terrible. Oddly suspicious to say this. This isn't edgy or based. This sounds like someone who's guilty. And that's because she was. Look, eventually it was very hard to deny this. 4chan was
I'm assuming that there was a sexting guys regularly long before becoming Elfin on places like R9K. R9K! Wait! Oh my god, I just had like the fucking flashback, dude. R9K is the bored robot, I think it was. Like where they talk about how lonely they are and they're sad. Dude, that's crazy. I literally haven't thought about that board in like years. Robot 9000. Yeah, dude.
To harass, and they were revealing the fact that she used to be on 4chan when she was younger. There are threads dating back to as far as 2021 where they were referring to her as someone who was very attractive and was peak wife material. They'd be calling her their ideal crush, their ideal wife when she was...
This is why you can't have women on fucking 4chan. Immediately gotta fucking have all of them fucking up in your shit. It's like the joke with Reddit where they had that single lonely women Reddit subreddit, and there's just a bunch of guys messaging all the women that say that they're that they're single. If you announce that you're a woman on the internet, you will get so much attention immediately. Like, that's just how it is.
Minor, mind you, and one of those people complimenting her would say lives in Pakistan. Additionally, what didn't help was that her name was doxed, and it was painfully Arabic. Pakistan is a Muslim country that's heavily influenced by Muslim culture, so of course they have a lot of Arab names. At this point, it was simply undeniable no matter how much she wanted it to not be true.
If you're reading this, I want to be your boyfriend.
Around the end of December 2025, she would admit to her Discord, yes, I'm Pakistani, but I promise I'm only half Pakistani. People would start hating on her, and of course she'd do what
is this a lie too? I don't know. Like, is she trying to soften the blow?
She did best, suicide bait, saying, whatever dude, stop hating me because I'm a halfie, fuck, I'm gonna kill myself now. Someone would say, I miss when I thought Elf was white. The hand reveal ruined everything. Then she would say, Jesus, okay, leave then, asshole.
You catered to the most, like, racist fucking, like a sub-niche group on the internet, and this is what happened. Like, I'm sorry.
She'd then say, guys, I'm only half Pakistani, okay? I'm half Slavic. I'm Ukrainian. Please, there's some white in me.
Y'all don't even consider Slavs white either? Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
But then she would realize a very important realization, saying, you guys hate me because I'm a halfie, I get it. Y'all don't even consider Slavs white either, so I'm double brown, I hate my life. Now you might be wondering, why is it that her community of white supremacists didn't consider Slavs white? Well, in these extremely edgy internet circles, they have a big problem with the fact that Ukrainian President Zelensky is Jewish. They think he's some Jewish puppet and he's prolonging the war on purpose, right? That's their viewpoint. So to them, Ukrainians were Jewish.
You're dead! Oh my god! No, what if they're trolling her and like, dude, she's turning into a lol cow. I'm sorry. I know this is like a really like overused term, but maybe she's just they're actually just fucking with her. There's no way.
They were part of the problem. Someone would say, and your dad's Ukrainian, in parentheses, Jewish, to which you would say, he's not Jewish, in all caps. So now, she wasn't just seen as half Muslim, she was also seen as half Jewish, the two things that her community hated the most, and she made them that way. You have to understand, not everyone who found Elfin had that ideology. Some of them were totally innocent, found her through a belly picture, liked her, maybe fell in love with her because they're mentally ill, and then saw that she thought this way ideologically and started sharing those same opinions. And now they were being backstabbed, betrayed. How dare you be exactly what you've been hating on for so long? Some people would start saying, hey, maybe you're not Pakistani, maybe you're just Indian, to which you would say, I'm too cute to be Indian.
Oh my fucking god! What?
Please, guys, like, how dare you call a Pakistani Indian, bro? Like,
I'm not
this would all keep building up until Christmas Day, the 25th of
I saw this.
December 2025, when Elfin, in an extremely drunken state, would post a tweet that's barely legible, saying, I'm drunk enough to come out. I'm Pak, mom's side, and Ukrainian, dad's side. I'm a halfie. LMFAO, weird combo, right? I'm not Muslim and I hate Muslims. I love Christmas. I'm more Slavic than anything because I grew up Slavic. Slava Ukraina, Pakistan Zindabad. So look, just like with Ririgaki, right, with her black boyfriend, this normally should have never been a problem. If anything, this would have been something to salvage.
Grew up Slavic, but she doesn't really speak Russian or Ukrainian. I'm not saying everyone has to, but like grew up Slavic usually implies that you speak at least a little bit. She called herself a Russia boo.
Like, oh, you come from very different cultures. Cool, that's awesome. Wow. The only person that made it a problem was her. And as you can see from the 186
Just
replies,
thinking out
her
loud
community
here.
wasn't really too happy about this. The next step was her trying to appease her community. Look, she knew what they wanted. They wanted whatever what was in between her legs. So she
Yeah.
would desperately tweet things out like, Aryan man, please colonize me. Aryan man, please Aryan man, please colonize the girl failure. Stinky bitch Aryan man. I mean, at this point, it was just pathetic.
This is what they want. Yes.
The only feelings most people had when seeing this was pity. Like, come on, dude, what are you doing?
No,
Then-
no. There's a lot of people that find that hot. They're like, yes, I can. She's in her most vulnerable state. I will swoop in and save her.
The 29th of December, she would tweet this out all of a sudden saying, I hate being who I am and I hate being like this. I can't do this anymore for a bit. I'm sorry. I don't know when I'll be back, but I'm fucking sorry I'm like this. I hope you're all well and please don't miss someone like me. Goodbye for now. What would immediately follow after is her deactivating her Twitter account and disabling all invites to her Discord server. Now look, reactions were mixed to this, but as you might have guessed, the majority of the VTuber community was celebrating, okay?
She came
Hitler
back, though.
was dead.
Pretty sure,
This
didn't she?
stain on VTubers' reputations, as well as her insufferable community, were finally gone. We won. On the other end of these celebrations, though, were some very heartbroken men, saying things like, I hope Elfin Psyop comes back. Yeah, she's mentally ill and likes to provoke people, but she's not so bad that she deserves to have something terrible happen to her.
I don't think she should fucking like have anything bad happen to her, dude. I don't think that.
This guy saying, I really hope Elfin Psyop is okay. The racism towards her because of who she is
But that's who she catered to. I don't know how to explain this without beating a dead horse, but like you did this kind of to yourself. I'm sorry. Like I'm not saying she deserved it, but like she kind of shot yourself in your foot, like yourself.
acceptable, and I genuinely hope she didn't hurt herself. No one deserves
No,
to
I
be
don't think
treated
she
like
should
that.
either. No.
It's like, bro,
I was like, nobody bothers
are,
her.
are we talking about the same person here? That's literally what she did every single day. And to make matters worse, when she deactivated her account, this person would tweet this out, saying,
I saw
another
this.
VTuber
This
that I
went
spent
hyper-viral.
thousands of dollars making merch for just deactivated her socials without any warning whatsoever and isn't responding to my messages. Yes, of course, this person was referring to Elfin Psyop, right? This post got a lot of attention, and it showed how much of a wreck she really was.
I actually found out about her deactivating and all this fucking drama only because this went viral, and then I scrolled down and read the comments. And then I went on a deep dive and I was like, what the fuck?
Look, overall, it wasn't just embarrassing to be Elfin at this point. It was also humiliating to be one of her fans. I mean, these guys were hopeless. They were like, yeah, I know she's half Indian, but look, she's half white. I know we're meant to hate Muslims and minorities, but please, just make an exception for her. I'll fix her, wife her up, and prolong the white race. Please, let's just make her an exception. Now, as pathetic as this sounds, it wasn't a surprise. No one was ever interested in her for her political takes or her grift. It was all about her belly and the fact that she was a woman who was promiscuous. Politically speaking, though, they gave themselves some hope that, hey, at least she's half white, but even that illusion was about to be shattered. That's because 4chan would go above and beyond as
they always fucking do, man. I saw the Osu and I was like, that's gotta be something to do with her account, right?
do, and would find irrefutable proof that she's not half Pakistani, she is full Pakistani. 4chan would go through her previous usernames on Steam, and before using
Oh my god! That's the same one as her Osu account!
Elfin Psyop in 2021, she would be known as Absurd Comrade.
There's no denying
but
it.
you look at that.
And it's location based. My old Osu account has New Zealand on it. Because that's when I made it. You can't change it. You can't ask them to change it. Maybe you can, but you have to, like, I don't know, like, prove through IP usage that you are from the US or whatever. But my point is, it bases it where it was made, the account. So, like, my old account it says New Zealand on it. It says, like, top, whatever, 10%. of like Osu players or something, right?
There's an Osu account
And she's a tourist too. She's only played for an hour and 30 minutes. That's crazy.
that was created back in September 2020 that had the same exact name.
Yeah.
And also used the profile picture of a character that Elfen liked a lot, Megumin from Konosuba.
Yep.
It also had the flag of Pakistan on the profile. This was a very big deal because this was region-based. Yes, it was based on your IP. This meant that as far back as 2020, Elfen was in Pakistan. She wasn't raised Slavic. She was raised in a country in which 99.99% of people are Muslim. And those Muslim immigrants going to the UK that she kept insulting every single day, well, she was literally one of them. I mean, seriously, the jokes just write themselves here. Like, how stupid is this? At this point, it was official. She was nothing more than a self-hating grifter. Many such cases, but not many with this many followers and that much of a community. But just as people thought that she was finally defeated, that she was gone forever, she would literally come back just a few days later. And while she was expecting a bunch of hugs and kisses, she instead got the final blow to her short but very interesting career. So look, it was at this point that I started working on this video, but then I saw that she had tweeted on January 4th saying, "Hey, what's up, retards? I'm back. I went to a
Yeah, I saw
museum.
this
I did a
too.
bunch of different things." She'd even post a selfie and a tank, the flag
Spoiler alert, she deactivated after again.
of Pakistan. Her post would get thousands of likes. Her community was so happy she was back. They were celebrating and saying, "Oh my God, I was worried about you. Oh my God, thank you so much for coming back. I missed you." So I was like, oh, I guess we're going to pretend like nothing happened. Okay. She'd say, "All the speculation about me leaving for weird reasons was all wrong, lol. I left because I had personal reasons." This is when I figured, okay, dude, whatever. Like, who cares? I'm just going to work on something else. And look, I want to make one thing clear. If Elfen continued as she always had operated and didn't change a single thing, then she could have very easily kept her career and her
Yeah.
community. Again, they didn't.
Because people generally, like, if you just keep producing the same content, they don't give a fuck what you could say or do. Like, it's kind of funny because, like, people think, like, oh, if you get canceled, it's over for you. Most of the time, people aren't fucking chronically online. Granted, she does cater to a very chronically online community, so it's, like, a lot harder for her to get forgiven. But generally speaking, yes. Keep producing the same content. The people that watch you for your content don't give a shit.
care about her political ideology, okay? They just
Yeah.
wanted a chance to get in a Discord call with her and have her goon.
Yep,
But what she would do
goon.
2 days later on January 6th,
Keep gooning.
2026 would be the dumbest thing I have ever seen anyone do on the internet ever, admitting to the distribution of child pornography. She'd make this tweet out of nowhere saying, "Guys, I have a little announcement to make. So this may not come as much of a shock to some of you, but to most of the majority, I want to be truthful to all of you. When I first started VTubing, I was 17 years old. My hallmates living with me were older than me and would buy me all the alcohol. So I pretended to be a bit older online. I came to the UK to study a foundation year at 16, turning 17. They let you go early, especially if you have good grades. I'm 19 right now. The funniest part of all this is that I never told my age.
Why would you admit to this? What do you get out of this? Like, whenever I think about people posting this shit, it's like, okay, well, maybe you posted something like you have to address this, but like, what was the point?
to anyone because I didn't want people to think it's weird someone
That
underage is
4chan post from 2021, but do you not understand? Like, it doesn't. This still doesn't prove anything. Like, even if you dig into it, sure, at the end of the day, yeah, 4chan found out some shit about you. Just ignore it? Yo, Ray, thank you for the raid. Thank you so much. This was just stupidity. I think she just shouldn't have said anything. Even if she truly did do this, it's in the past. I don't think you can get prosecuted now, and you're just like making people fucking hate you. Like, so hard.
talking about stupid shit online. And the lie had gone for so long for me to tell the truth. But I'm a solid age now that I don't care. It's kind of why I suck at saying what age I learned what. Like, oh, I started going on 4chan when I was 14, but what I mean is like 11. I want it to sound older somehow.
11? Cheese and crackers, man.
I had to get a proper ID for 18 when I turned 18, and it was exhilarating buying my own beer. Ha 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 ha. Now here's the bombshell. Also, just thought to put this out there because all the images that my haters have been leaking are all technically CP.
But you're the one. But you're the one distributing it. That, yeah, sure, but like, you're the one sharing it to other people. Man, you're dumb.
XD. Good luck. So yeah, what seemed like a post of her just being edgy as always, saying, hey, I've always been edgy, I've always been on 4chan, I've thought the same thing since I was 14, ended up being one of the dumbest admissions of guilt I've ever seen in my life. Yes,
Yeah,
she's been on 4chan
you
since she
did
was a
not
minor.
have to
And
say
yes,
that.
since then, she's been promiscuous. She's been sending explicit images of herself. She's been sexting. She distributed illegal material. And she's out here talking about it like, oh, gotcha. Someone would, of course, point this out, replying, you realize taking the pictures and uploading them is you transmitting / distributing illegal CP as well, right? Just because it's yourself doesn't remove that. This is when Elfin would say, yeah, I know, but that shit was ages ago and I sent it to a few people at different time intervals. I didn't know they would leak it because they're awful people. I hope they suffer. Smiley face. This is,
But
of
now
course,
you confirming it too, that it was you, that you're in the pictures. Like, you shouldn't have done that. Like, it's just, it's such a dumbass.
in reference to the many nudes you can
You're
find online of her.
so
So that means a lot of websites are hosting
No.
CP at the moment, if she's to be believed. At this point, she was
You're not
fair
gonna
game.
prosecute them
And
at
this
this
is when
point.
Johnzilla would make this Twitter thread saying, most people think Elfin Psyop privated because she crashed out over her white supremacist friends finding out that she isn't white. But in actuality, it was because it was found out she groomed and sent weird and inappropriate things to minors on her
I think it was probably this first, and then everything else came out, actually. Because she was doing the soft blow thing where she's like, I'm a halfie. And it's like, oh, well, she was just like fucking doing these little breadcrumbs in her Discord.
Discord server. The first example would be how she made a community member who was 16 draw a doujin, right? Like some sort of a adult comic of her and a VTuber she looked up to. He would post it in her Discord and she
Oh no, I looked at that. I saw that on Twitter with Lumi. Yes, I know exactly. Because Elfin was obsessed with Lumi. Oh my god. Oh no. I did not know that. I'm sorry. What the fuck? I saw this on Twitter.
would say, holy fucking shit, dude. Oh my god. She was very excited over it. She'd also send him some very explicit messages. Like, for example, he'd make artwork of her holding a gun on her stomach, and she'd say, I love the weight of the gun on my stomach. It makes me very horny. And finally, there would
But
be this
that's a
screenshot in
child,
which she says,
bro.
when I grow up, I'm going to be like Masato and groom blah, blah, blah. And they're
I mean, doesn't the fact that you, like, probably were groomed on 4chan at age, like, what, 11, you said? Like, doesn't this make you, like, continue the cycle? Even if you put this under the guise of, like, irony, I feel like this is so fucked up. And I don't know.
even be a message with her saying, pedophile bros, rise up. So now
Yeah.
her community had to wrestle with the fact that not only was she not a
This is why we
virgin,
ban
not only was she
anyone
not
under
white,
18,
but
no
she was also
questions
someone who was practically a weirdo to minors. Go figure. What Johnzilla had posted was part of a wider
Holy
expose that
shit!
fully sought to expose Elfin and ruin her career
What?
that was posted on 4chan. In it, we can see even more images, like how, for example, she would let this minor into an NSFW 18 plus channel knowing that he's a minor. She doesn't care. Why would she? But look,
I mean, to be fair, Discord doesn't either.
I know at this point you're thinking she's
don't give a
completely
shit either.
irredeemable. No way she still has fans, right? Well, there's a reason I refer to her fans throughout this whole video as castrated men. They're not castrated like literally, like physically. They're castrated mentally, in the sense that they stand for nothing. Their life is meaningless in the sense that they're willing to throw anything away just for a chance at having a gooner girlfriend. Someone would reply to Johnzilla's thread saying, what the fuck? Based? Me next, in all caps. So guys, I don't care. She could murder someone. She could, I don't know, carpet bomb an entire family neighborhood. I don't care. I don't care. Please, just get in a call
This
with...
is the double standard of, like, the teacher that grooms, like, a young guy at school. Everyone's like, yeah, me next. But when it's when the flip side happens, it's like, it's a bit of a double standard in my opinion.
me and Goon. Please, I've never had a woman touch me. Please. The secondhand embarrassment would continue for Elfin though. She would post an AI-generated clip of Brody Fox, a content creator, with him saying slurs that he never said because it's AI. It would perform abysmally, and he would reply to her saying, "Why did you groom minors and distributed CP?" Linking John's illustration.
Dude, Brody Fox is a fucking retard. And getting ratioed by him is embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie. This guy's an actual fucking clown. Oh my god. I can't. What the fuck?
Thread, out-ratioing her by 5 times.
Yeah.
At this point, it was obvious. Elfin was becoming
I
a
don't think this
lolcat.
is even
In fact,
fake.
she had already become one by the time she deactivated the first time in December. Seeing how much the pressure was mounting and how many of her close friends or community members were telling her, "You're a dumbass for admitting this, you have to do something to contain this disaster," she would make this tweet in a desperate attempt to calm people down, saying, "I lied. I lied about my age and being younger at the time because there's images of me on the internet that I sent to people I trusted. Never full nudity, and they use AI to make revenge porn of it. They actively post it on all spaces I'm in, trying to get back at me for rejecting them. How do you counter that? How do you even stop it? So yeah, I lied to scare them."
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's always these fucking double, triple lies, and then like going back on the lies.
Yeah, right.
To
And I'm
confuse
French.
people.
What are we doing? Lying now? No one believed that, especially with the proof that she so readily invited a 16-year-old into an NSFW channel on her Discord. It was over, and even Elfin had enough self-awareness to understand that. This is why shortly afterwards, a day later, on January 7th, 2026, she would yet again deactivate her Twitter, but this time wipe her YouTube channel and pretty much delete all socials. And the final thing she'd do is post an announcement on Discord, pretty much announcing her graduation and how she was ceasing all activities for good now. Here's what she had to say. "Hey, thank you for always being by my side. When I first started streaming, it was crazy to me to have so many people like me so much and want to talk to me. It felt exhilarating to have friends in a community. All the art I got, all the friendships I made, the 10-hour Among Us sessions, it was incredible. Probably the best time I've ever had in my life. I wouldn't trade this time
in
for the world.
2026.
It meant everything to me, and you guys meant everything to me. I'd like to thank you all for being amazing agents." That's what she called her community. "For believing in me even though I've always been a massive loser. For always sticking by my side, buying my merch, liking me at all. I wish I could give you more than this. I wish I could be more than what I am for you guys, and I'm so sorry for disappointing you like I do every time. But I just wanted to say I really love you guys. Despite all the controversies and dramas we've been through, it's been way too fun to want to forget all of this. I guess the Elfin saga had to end on a weird bittersweet note like this. Fucking chaotic. It definitely wasn't meant to last. I never believed in myself that much. Too much shit has happened, and I'm too small of a person to be able to handle it alone. I've lost. It doesn't matter anymore. Please don't be sad when I'm gone. You can always look back on memories. So corny. I'll be graduating for good. I wish I could have a stream rather than this Discord announcement, but this is the best I can bring myself to doing. I don't want to seem pathetic on stream, have to act nonchalant. Thank you for being with me. I love you all. It was really nice while it lasted. Heart emoji." And so this was it. This time it was actually official. It wasn't like the other time she deactivated and just came back a few days later. No, this was it. Elfin Psyop would be no more. And as you might have guessed, people celebrated again, but her community was gutted. And shortly afterwards, she would completely delete her Discord. Elfin Psyop is a real one. I'm gonna miss my home.
A bold take here. I don't think she's done. Not even close. I would bet money she's gonna come back. And not just that. Here's what I think is gonna happen. She'll try and fight every single person that shit talked her while she was gone. Especially Mujin, because he made a massive video with a bunch of receipts, right? I'm sure I'll be on that list too, and anyone who reacts to this video. Just like full aggro fucking swinging at air. You have to understand that people who are molded by 4chan, especially from such a fucking early age, like 11 years old, holy shit, what? They don't feel shame. They're unapologetic in what they say. They don't give a fuck. I highly doubt she deleted and graduated because of shame or bad press. Like, this is the same girl that would post about gooning on Twitter. Like, let's think about it here, okay? There's very likely another reason that nobody knows about.
I'm broken right now. She'll be with us always, in one form or another. Plenty more Indian women out there. Just go to India and bring one home.
Uh-oh, she's not gonna like that about considering what she said about Indians, bro. Man, this guy's a fake one out here, huh? Yeah,
Dude,
this guy's not a real elfin viewer.
Oh my god. When I die, Elfin will still be on my mind. I couldn't forget these past couple of years if I tried.
Holy
Castrated
shit, man.
beyond
What the
belief. You see, when people make fun of the male loneliness epidemic, don't show them statistics, okay? Don't make them think that it's just some guy who's sad that he's single. Show them these people mourning as if they lost a family member, when in fact it was just some grifter who was a Pakistani woman that pretended she was white. It is so pathetic, man. Okay, this is probably my favorite tweet. Okay, this is...
She shows
Your
the
Paki
stars
brothers will
funny.
miss you, Elfin Pakistan. There was a lot of funny memes.
What the fuck is that Twitter name?
Called
Excuse
Brown
me?
once fucking dies. Look at this guy.
I'm
I
not
wake
going
up with a
back.
New Year's
If you
hangover,
saw
and
it,
one of the
you
first
saw
things I
it.
learned is that Elfin is brown. First off, what did I miss?
This guy's in shock.
Second off, is there a single one of you motherfuckers that's actually white?
Oh my god.
And just like that, the
I have
legendary
white
meteoric
skin.
rise of
Chat saw
Elfin
it.
would end as quickly as it had
Not that it
started.
matters.
Not with a bang, not with a whisper, but in a flaming hot pile of shitty diarrhea. But hey, as far as I know, the artist that had been ghosted by Elfin worked things out, and now you have an attorney involved. Meanwhile, Riri
That's
is still
good.
crying over the fact that she grifted, tried to be Elfin, and now her entire career is ruined. Hey man, all I gotta say is you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. But before I end the video,
I don't
I do
know,
want to
maybe
point out
she'll
something
turn
that's
around.
very,
Maybe she'll
very
just live her
interesting.
life.
There's a conspiracy theory going around right now that the reason why Elfin left and deleted all socials is because she's being pursued by UK tax authorities. You see, when you
Oh.
would donate to her PayPal link, it would show an email. It would say payment to blank blank at hotmail.com. And this was clearly not her name. This was a man's name. This was her boyfriend that she had while she cheated on him with 6 other guys. However, you have to remember,
Oh,
Elfin
man.
was in the UK under a student visa, which doesn't allow her to work or earn any
Oh, right. Because she's not going to pay taxes.
income. It seemed like she was funneling all her earnings to her
Uh-oh.
boyfriend. So
I
the
don't
theory
know.
is that maybe she broke up with her boyfriend and he found out that she cheated on him with 6 guys and she was doing all this dumb shit on the internet. So now he's getting the tax authorities after her so he can reclaim the money that she took from him while also getting her kicked out of the country.
Damn.
Definitely an interesting
I
theory,
don't
but I do
know.
think it might be a bit of a reach. I guess only time will tell.
Yeah.
I personally think that Elfin will try to pull a Gunpei because she's practically Gunpei but 10 times worse. Eventually, she might recreate a new persona, a new character, and try to come back into streaming slowly. Will she carefully disguise herself? No, people will recognize her, but her community will be very happy that she's back because as you can see, there's a void in their hearts that still hasn't been filled,
They'll find
guys.
someone else, I'm sure.
I've made so many videos, throughout this career. Some of them involve disturbing topics, but I've never been so disturbed as I have been while researching for this
This
video.
was something,
I'm sure you
man.
also
I'm
lost hope in
tired,
humanity
Chad. Are you
multiple
tired?
times
I'm
as you were
tired.
watching this. So hey, you're welcome. And I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching until the
Yo.
end. As a reminder, make sure to check
Standing
out my Stacked
ovation.
page, okay? It's going to be filled to the brim with content. I'm going to be very active there. You'll find the link in the description and the pinned comment. Thank you so much again. I love you so much, platonically, and I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is. Mwah!
Yo, standing ovation to Mujin for reading all that cancer. God damn, it's so fucking loud. Every time I have to turn it down. But, like, fuck me, dude. God, man, can you believe all these immigrants in the UK? Anyway, I'm hoping I don't get deported for fraud. Uh-oh. I don't know. Interesting theory. Definitely interesting. Guys, go check out Mujin right now. He's in the chat. Tell him he's cool. He put in a lot of effort, a lot of editing, a lot of script writing.